Start again. So, welcome to the Mr. E Crimecast. I am Mr. E, joined tonight by Mrs. E. And we do not have a guest tonight. Auntie had some other plans, but this was going to be our only opportunity to have a cast or a show at the beginning of the week. So we wanted to make sure we got in here and talked about a lot of the things that have been going on. Lots of folks there in the chat. Looks like we just had a new member. Did I see that right?
Tiffany renewed her membership. And actually, Tiffany, I have a surprise for you because I've been playing with some stuff. Let's see. So first, let's put that on the screen that Tiffany has become a new member.
Thank you, Tiffany. We do appreciate that.
Well, she renewed. Is it?
We appreciate that as well.
Let's see. So I've been playing with this stuff a little bit to see what I could do here. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is all new for Mr. E as well.
Okay.
All right. Yay, Tiffany! Yay!
Oh, there you go. So that part. Very good.
Yes.
Good. Very good.
Isn't that cute? That's so cute, right?
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Thank you, Tiffany. We appreciate your membership. We appreciate you coming back.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Let's say hi to some people before you get started. He's all business.
I know. I know we have to give people time to settle in a little bit, you know. Oh, KT's back too. Good to see you back.
You want to scroll through here so you can see?
Sure.
Okay.
Wherever you want to stop.
Well, our very first person tonight was Charlene Haggerty. She's always our first, I think.
Oh, okay.
So,
great. Well, thank you, Charlene.
And we've got Cheryl here and Breezy. Crushing on the Sandman. Sweet person.
Merge, I think, was mentioning our little intro there that Middle E and you worked on together.
Right. We're not quite, I didn't quite understand what was going on. That's why we were muted.
I assume it worked okay. Hopefully that you were all able to see that. You know, we've got the little intro now.
If you guys liked it, would you please let us know in the comments?
Yeah, and if there were any problems with it or anything like that, we'd love to know that too. But yeah, like we said, we're learning. We're trying to make everything better as we go here. And the little intro is nice to have rather than that same little 60-second thing we had before.
And then there's Trishy 818, and then we said hi to KT already, and thank you again, Tiffany. And we've got Lynette Bender, and let's see,
Rocky Lennon is back.
Hi, Rocky.
Good to see you again. Solo Angel Mom
from
Illinois.
Yeah.
Marjorie from Canada.
Hello.
And oops, it's me from Arkansas.
I like that.
I like the fun names. Jules from South New Jersey. Cheryl. Okay, lots of folks joining us. Oh, Drusilla. I think we met you a couple of episodes back. And Olivia. Good to see you and her. Our wonderful mod. And she's looking at. She has started a true crime channel. Maybe doing some lives, I think, in the future. And what was the case she's looking at? Maybe starting on. I don't recall what she said last time. There was one you were looking at, Olivia, that you were gonna.
I'm so shiny tonight. Sorry,
I can't
guys.
recall. Anyway, but there was a case that you were looking at going into, but yeah. So if you want to mention that and mention your channel at some point, Olivia, that'd be great. I'm sure anyone would be happy to support. It looks like you've already got a lot of subs going over there, so I hope hopefully some folks are checking that out. And okay, good, Merge. So you like the music, doesn't hurt the ears, not obnoxious. Not obnoxious for us would be the goal. We don't want it to be obnoxious, I think. So that's good.
I didn't pick the music. I would have probably picked something from the 80s, but
it was kind of pleasant. It was a little, it was okay.
Oh, Tip for Tat's here. Hi, Tip for Tat.
Good to see you back. And
Miss Scat Cat. I like that. Deanna M says the intro was nice. Donna Smith says good evening. I guess that's a down for the intro. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, guys. All right.
So
Olivia. Oh, yeah. Okay. So yes, Olivia says that she was good. Okay.
Evelyn Boswell.
Guess what? I started looking into it. Wowza.
Good. Evelyn Boswell. So I don't know anything about this. I'm excited to kind of see.
It's just awful.
Yeah, make sure you let us know. We'll be happy to plug it whenever you've got that ready to go. And then,
I'm going to help her moderate.
I don't know anything about that case.
I told you a little bit about it. It's
just a touch.
awful.
So I'll be excited to see your take on that. and the trial's coming up soon with it also. So,
Deanna says I can pick up the intro or the outro music. Well, we're not that fancy yet. Maybe someday.
outro. Yeah, well,
I didn't even.
we'll be next level. We'll have the outro music.
We don't even have a backdrop. We've got our
Really?
extra. We've got our spare bedroom.
In 2 weeks, our backdrop is going to be my mother-in-law.
Yes.
She'll be sleeping.
Yeah.
Right
Granny will be sleeping right there.
Yes, that I don't know
Oh,
I don't know what she's going to think
look
of
at
that.
this, Breezy. Oh my
Hi, Breezy.
stars.
Well, thank you so much, Breezy.
All right, you guys are trying to make me cry again tonight, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Sorry, we got gnats. We had water. We cut a watermelon for 4th of July, and the gnats came with it. So,
yeah,
Breezy, that is so. Oh, you know what? Let's give her something. I'm sure I've got something fun for that.
Yeah, you could do. You want to do something
Wait.
different?
Oh yeah, I got fancy this
Industrial
afternoon.
Light and Magic working on our special.
I got something. All right, so.
Okay. All right. Stars for the Sandman.
Thank you, Breezy. Let's see. And then I
that's
also
very nice of you, Breezy.
have,
Thank you.
let's see. Hold on.
What'd you do?
It says, we appreciate you. You made our day.
Oh, we got a little runner down there. Okay.
It says, thank you.
Yeah. This is like a real show almost.
Almost.
Almost a real show.
And Brownie wants
And
Daddy.
Brownie wants in on the action here.
All right.
Dog over.
Okay, I'll tell
you.
I'm not this fancy. And also, since Auntie is not here to help me with the show,
So I.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna drive me crazy.
Got some bugs going on in here, I think. So,
I think Mona Lisa wants us to get started.
yeah. Well, yeah. So we basically have a few things to talk about tonight. So our main topic is going to be what we got from the partly from the Seth YouTube channel.
Bailey.
I think most of you have probably seen it at this point, and if not, we'll talk about really the takeaways from it, and kind of what we think that all means, and kind of reading between the lines on some of the things that were said there, and then also just really kind of the start here. I wanted to talk about this lady Trinity Bostic that we've been covering. I think the last 2 episodes.
Young lady, teenager.
What did I say?
Lady. Well, she is, but you know.
So yes, so if you haven't seen us recently talk about this young lady in Hendersonville, Tiffany Bostic, she was found on July 3rd. Her body was discovered by someone picking up trash on the side of the road. Saw her there, kind of in the wooded area, coming off the bypass there, off that exit ramp. It just so happened to be right near that Costco where. Actually, right beside the Costco where Sebastian had taken that picture with optimism on his shirt from that Saturday. So this is right there, just a couple of miles away from the Proudfoot home. So when we first heard the story, of course everyone's thinking, oh my gosh, is this going to end up being Sebastian? It doesn't. We find out just a few hours later that it is a female. We're waiting for that result to come back, and turns out it's a lady that 17-year-old girl named Trinity Bostic from Lafayette, Tennessee, which is about a little over an hour and a half away from Hendersonville, close to the Kentucky border, so like northwest of where we're located. And the detectives right away determined that it was going to be a homicide. They haven't gone into any details even as of yet as to how she was killed. But we've
heard rumors, but we're not going to spread the rumors.
Yeah, actually, I've heard multiple rumors. I've heard conflicting rumors, so we just can't do any of that yet. And so, anyway, all the rumors that I've heard have sounded violent, but I don't know which ones are going to end up being true. Either way, she was a high school student working at the local Walmart. Had gone missing when it was reported as a runaway on June 29th. Seemed like she lived in that town with her dad. That was her dad's town, and it really hadn't made a lot of news locally. I hadn't seen this missing persons report. Most of the locals hadn't either, and And it turns out they do make an arrest on Saturday. And that this is kind of the updated news from where we left off. It ends up being a 17-year-old male from Westmoreland, Tennessee, which is kind of between here and Lafayette. It's a little closer to Lafayette than it is to the Hendersonville area. And we still don't know this person's name because he is 17 years old. They're not releasing that information yet. What the news reports are all saying is that they do intend to try him as an adult and with first-degree murder. That's what all the reports are saying right now. He's in the Sumner County Jail here in town because he was arrested by Hendersonville police since Trinity was found here. And of course, she's getting a huge outpouring of love and support for her family, and people sharing memories, pictures and that kind of thing. From what I'm understanding, her funeral, which will be tomorrow, her friends and people that support her will be wearing purple, which is her favorite color. And we picked up a little more information just about the kind of person she was. All, of course, positive, caring, sweet. Those are a couple of words I just kept seeing over and over, particularly how sweet a person she was. And she comes from a very large family. I think it looks like she might have 7 or 8 siblings. I think there's been quite a few, and it's an awful situation there. It's a story we're going to continue to follow. I know. I guess I was reading today that there's a lot of folks that think there might be some connection between this and Sebastian's story, but there's no reason to believe that at this point. Even all of it just doesn't appear to be. I think it's just a coincidence as far as the proximity to Sebastian's home. That doesn't appear to be the case to us. He will get his first hearing, the defendant, the suspect, on Thursday. And so I don't know if at that point we'll learn his name or not, but we will be following that to find out just who he was. Lots of rumors on who he was also, his motive, that type of thing. I've heard 3 or 4 that are coming from locals, but they're all conflicting. So again, we just really can't, report that. Even what he looks like, there's conflicting reports.
Also, her family has a GoFundMe for the funeral expenses. I was just looking for that and I couldn't find it. I have it in another location, so I will post it on our community tab after this.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that to you. I forgot to say it. But yes, the senior class at her high school, one of the students decided to start a GoFundMe to pay for her funeral expenses. From what I understand, last I read, it was almost $10,000. So, it's just it's kind of like what we talked about with Seth. When these awful things happen, people just want to help in any way they can. They want to donate and try to just kind of give that hug, by donating a little money. So, yes, it looks like I know her funeral's tomorrow. And we're all heartbroken for them. And we are glad that the person's been caught, and how quickly the police did that. Like we said, where he was a very populated area, tons of cameras everywhere. So I don't know what the situation was, but
okay. I'm going to share it. I've got it right here.
If
anybody's interested, this is a GoFundMe for her funeral cost.
Yeah, so this will be the one that was set up by the high school students to pay for her funeral. And so a lovely, sweet thing for those kids to do. A lot of them talk to the news about supporting her and what kind of person she was, and shared pictures and stuff. It's just it's just all very difficult.
Oh, Auntie is in the chat. I thought you were busy tonight. If you want me to bring you on, I can send you a link. I just thought you were busy tonight.
Yeah, we didn't want to, have a night off. Enjoy your night if you want to, but if you want to come in, that's great.
Well, I'll get a link to her real quick so she can join. You just keep talking. I'm trying to work. Let's see.
Yeah. So, like I said, anytime we cover a story, our plan is we're gonna follow it until there's justice or someone's found and that kind of thing. So we'll continue to give you updates on the Trinity story as they come about. I think that's about all I've learned that's new. Is essentially that it's a 17-year-old male from Westmoreland, Tennessee. This is basically the neighboring town for Lafayette. Anything other than him having a hearing on Thursday, anything outside of that is essentially rumor that I have not been able to confirm. I mean, I've been able to see who some family members are and things like that, but outside of that, anything else would be kind of unfounded rumor right now. I suspect we'll know a lot more after Thursday. So, anything else that I might have missed on Trinity before we get into this? Sebastian,
you mentioned the was it News Channel 5 stuff?
A little bit. That was.
Sorry,
I think I did.
I have been slightly distracted.
Yeah. No, I think I did. I didn't go. They had a rumor in that article that I
just felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, because
sharing it because we don't know for sure.
I don't like to get ahead of myself on that stuff, and I've heard two conflicting stories, so I don't want to do that. Oh, I know. It's just awful, but it seems like I think that the girl when she was found, which I'm assuming, I think they're saying she did pass away on July 3rd. Is also her mother's birthday.
Oh, that's terrible.
If that's not horrible. And I think, yeah. So and it also reading the obituary seemed that she had a sibling pass away at some other point as well.
That's terrible.
On the father's side. So anyway, that's just kind of grief you shouldn't no parent deserves, and it's hopefully we'll get justice. And we're critical of the police sometimes, but Hendersonville Police Department did a great job here in catching this kid and getting him off the streets very quickly before he could make a plan to run out of town or do something worse. We still don't know what the situation was, or if it was personal or random or anything. We just don't know. And
as we get more details, we'll share them.
Absolutely, we'll do that. So
we want to see justice for this little girl.
No doubt. We'll be following that as much as we can. And so we want to go.
I want to point out Tit for Tat gifted a membership.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
You guys are making me work tonight. Woo! Look at that.
I just wanted the confetti.
Oh my gosh.
Wanted the confetti.
And check this out. Auntie is at her luxury resort.
Well, just put it in.
Oh, my stars.
You got to bring out your little champagne flute and
we can't hear you.
Covered strawberries.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Sorry. You're muted, but yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear. Can you hear me?
It might be us because our sound might be down a little bit.
Well, I also don't have my microphone. I'm just on my computer.
Oh, yeah. You're cracking me up.
That is funny.
I like your robe.
Could someone in the chat mind to let me know, is the sound okay for Auntie?
Also,
it's a little hard for us to tell sometimes.
Thank you, Tit for Tat. We appreciate you. What is that? Your champagne?
Your champagne.
Okay.
We have champagne. They actually gave us champagne for my friend's birthday.
Well, we are further cementing your alcoholic reputation you've developed with your backdrop.
I know, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's funny because she doesn't drink at all.
It's funny because you hardly, very, very rarely.
I think I've seen you, and since I've known you, I think I've seen you maybe a handful of times, maybe.
Well, we have, of course, haven't opened anything because we're not big drinkers. So I had a lot of water though.
If you got free champagne though, right? You got to open that. Yeah. Okay. I know you still. You're
still not going to do it. Well, that looks very comfy where you are. I don't want to say I know where it is, and I'm jealous. So, I did want to say that Tit for Tat's free membership went to remarkably Olivia.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay, great.
I have a theory about these memberships, guys, about the gifted ones.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the people that are most active in the chat are the ones that get the gifted memberships. I've been watching this. You know how I can notice patterns?
Yeah.
That's the pattern I'm noticing.
It has been a lot of folks that we see in the chat. So maybe there's something about that algorithm.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Olivia.
Olivia wants that robe.
Yeah.
Olivia, make sure you give Tit for Tat a virtual hug.
It's a comfy looking robe.
You can have the robe, except I think I have to pay $100 for it. So
I don't want your robe. It's all right.
Yeah. So Andy, we had a couple of things going on the next few days, some conflicts with one of our kids, and so we knew we wouldn't get a chance to do this till the end of the week. So we just thought, well, let's just go ahead and go tonight, and because we wanted to go ahead and talk about the Seth information. Did you watch? I assume did you watch the YouTube?
yes.
Okay, good. So I've got my notes, of course, that I went through. All of the kind of information that came out of it. I'm going to guess that most of you have seen it. Let me get to that page.
Okay, I just have to point this out real quick too. Solo Angel Mom says, "I've seen it all now." And Tiffany says, "Luxury robe and all." I think everybody except everybody in the chat, including us, is jealous of your fancy robe and free champagne. So that's cracking me up.
That is really funny. It's like you're really kind of big time in this area. I didn't realize you were. I know where you were. I didn't realize quite what kind of day you were having. I didn't realize it was like that.
It's been a fun one.
Did you do spa and stuff?
No, just the pool and just the pool and just ate lunch by the pool and dinner, and it was just a great day.
Well, awesome. Okay. Well, go ahead and get started, and I will try my best not to interrupt you. I get a lot of comments about me interrupting Mr. E, and maybe you too. I don't know.
Well, it's like I've said, it's because we have family dynamics. Families, we just all kind of interject and talk and that kind of thing. And so we do occasionally get the comment that we're interrupting each other. So we'll try to do better on that. But all of us. So but anyway. So if you haven't seen, Seth does have a YouTube channel that he started. The first few videos were one of Sebastian playing on a playground and that kind of thing. But he did it like his first live stream last night, and he had Tony Mathis, he had Bullhorn Betty kind of as his co-host there, and just in general, I think that more media for Sebastian and talking about Sebastian, the better. However they want to do it, if they want to do YouTube channels, if they want to do podcasts, if they want to go do interviews, flyers, engage in comments. That's what Seth does a lot. He just keeps his name out there and keeps talking about Sebastian. So it's kind of like any news is good news out there for Sebastian. So I think it's a great strategic idea to, in some way, continue to engage with people out there so that it doesn't become a forgotten story, because eventually it could. And over time, if it's not resolved, it will. I mean, there will be a point at which, some other huge story comes along and people think, this is never going to be solved. But the longer he can keep that information going out there and keep the interest, the better. So I think that part of it is excellent. So the beginning of the show was mostly pictures and memories. So he showed a lot of pictures of. You got a question for me?
I'm so sorry. I'm just seeing that video playing over here. I just want to make sure you guys can see us. Can you guys see us? I'm looking over here at the and it's saying, it's saying that we're not on. Is it playing it like oh, it's playing it late. Sorry. I'm sorry. Now I'm going to get in trouble for interrupting you. I was just like, what is going on? Okay, that's better. Okay, never mind it. I'm crazy. Okay, you guys, I'm going to learn this technology eventually. It's only been like 6 weeks or so. Yeah. So I'll learn it eventually. I'm sorry. I won't interrupt you again.
I think it's fine. It's like 99% of the comments we get are wonderful. People appreciate what we're doing or have questions. And then that one little negative one, I know gets to you, but mostly everybody's been great, but anyway, so the pictures of Sebastian, I thought was a great idea to do because, you want people emotionally invested in Sebastian. And a great way to do that is tell stories about him get people to, remind people why we're looking for him in the first place. That and talking about the reminiscing and sharing stories and all that helps everyone kind of emotionally connect. I know in the chat last night or 2 nights, was it 2 nights ago or last night? Was it last night?
No, it was 2 nights.
2 nights ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, tears, crying, just watching all of that and thinking of everything that's happened. And so that part of it's good. You want people to keep caring and be involved because when it comes around time for searches and, that kind of thing, you want people engaged and out there and still talking about them and spreading the pictures. And although I've said this a few times, but we are all invested in Sebastian. We all know this story backward and forward. We all have our theories based on the tons of information we've all taken in, but most people don't. Most people outside of this true crime corner of the internet, they don't know what's going on with this story at all, or maybe have forgotten about it. And so we need these reminders out there. So the YouTube channel as a strategy is great, I think. So that part of it, I thought was very good. Did you have any thoughts about just the pictures or Sebastian as a child, the storytelling part or anything? Auntie, is he?
Auntie,
I thought he did a really good job and just kind of giving you a glimpse into what his childhood was like. And I think he was very loved by his dad. I mean, at least from the pictures, it seemed like he was a very proud father, and they, he could tell you even the smallest details about what he liked and what fun they had. And I just think it was a nice glimpse into his life and gave us a little bit more personal connection with him, as if we needed more connection with the whole situation. But yes, I thought he did a nice job with it, and it just showed to me, it kind of solidified in my mind that I don't really think he has anything to do with his disappearance, and he's just a dad really searching and hoping that his son is still out there somewhere.
Yeah, yes, actually. So I'll skip to that point since you brought that up. One of the things, as far as Seth not having anything to do with the disappearance, he had a surgery. That was one of the other things we found out about, is that it went well, and that when the doctor clears him, he'll be able to go back to work as the correctional officer. So maybe you all have heard these kind of questions about Seth, and whether or not he'd been laid off or quit or even had a job or those kinds of things. Well, that seems to be able to be something that we can now confirm, that he hasn't been fired or laid off from the jail, and that he'll be going back once the doctor clears him. And I know that most of us, we all kind of look at the. I think the majority of us do not see Seth as a suspect, but there are people still that are trying to or believe that somehow Seth is involved. But I want you to imagine this. So imagine that if Seth had, on the night that Sebastian disappeared, had taken the 2 hours or so it would have taken to get out to Katie's house, grab Sebastian, hide him away somewhere, go back, all on camera, all through the security and everything, in a downtown Nashville Metro jail, which is where he works. That after all of that happened, and then him taking leave for 4 months, that he would still have a job waiting for him when he went back.
Mm-hmm.
That would not happen. So with Seth going back, that tells us his alibi is even more solid than we believed before. So I think, I don't even know how you could, once he steps back into work, I don't know how anybody could dispute his involvement in Sebastian's disappearance any longer. He's cleared. That's just, there's outside of a Houdini kind of magic, I don't know how we could place him there. So that, to me, that was interesting because that helps kind of lock in his alibi even further, in my opinion. And we're glad, of course, that his surgery went well. That was part of what he said would kind of derailed his searching earlier on, was the pain. and that prevented him from doing a lot of that. So maybe that will mean he'll be able to do more searches over the summer and the fall. And the searching is maybe bigger news of all of it. They are planning on doing new searches. According to Seth, they're going to do one on July 11th, I believe. Can't quite confirm where that search is going to happen.
Yes.
The word is that it's Rockland Park in Hendersonville.
Rockland Road. There's not a park over there. Is there? It's not really
It's that
technically a
area-
park. It's waterfront, right?
It is, but I think it's like they had tried to search there before, and they said that everyone was kicked out after about 30 minutes of searching, and I guess they're trying to get clearance to search there again.
Okay.
I haven't heard that from Seth's mouth exactly that that's where the search is going to happen, so that may not be accurate. But if you are local, you want to do the search, maybe we could put that on our community if we find out.
I have some connections. I might be able to find out.
Find out for sure.
For
where that's gonna
sure where
happen.
it's at. It didn't even occur to me to ask prior to the stream. Sorry.
But we could could we post it on our community?
I don't want to
page?
bother this person this late at night.
Oh no, I just mean
Yeah.
later, like when the show's over, we could just post it on our stuff if we find out.
I'm so
Listen,
sorry.
That's all right.
Oh, wait, where'd it go? Oh. No,
Am I an English teacher?
no. That just made me laugh.
Oh, okay. Why? Why is that fun?
It just made me laugh. I don't know. It just got me giggling. Sorry. I'm either going to laugh or cry on these things. So
I think it's the glasses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
it
I feel
does
like
age you.
I
It
feel like
makes
Chuck
you look
Schumer
like
with
you're-
these things, like how he
Yeah.
does.
No, he needs them, guys.
I know.
Let
I
him be
have
an
to.
English
I have
teacher.
to. I'll take that as a compliment, English teacher.
Well,
Um,
you certainly know a lot about English.
Sure.
So
Sure.
without
yes.
giving too much away.
Yes, I do. But no, I'm not an English teacher. That was a consideration at one point in my life. But
I know. That's why I
didn't-
was
yeah.
laughing. That's
No,
why I
yes.
was laughing.
So we so the search will happen. It looks like on July 11th. We'll let everybody know when we find out about that. So if you're local, you're available, that's great. It looks like it's probably going to be in the Hendersonville area, but we're not 100%. That's just I just couldn't confirm it. So that's really good news. So what I like about the idea of the searching again is, we're 4 months, a little over 4 months out, right? So I was trying to think at this point, how many ways will the case be solved? And the number one way would be to actually find Sebastian.
They're all trying to guess what you are now. Sorry. Author. Sorry.
That's okay.
He'll
yes,
never tell. He's a
Well, I
vault.
probably will tell eventually.
Yeah, I know. He's a vault. I'm just kidding. Go on.
But maybe it'll be fun to just not for now.
And guys, before I forget, members, I'm going to have a little bit of an interesting announcement at the end of the show. So stick around.
Okay, we'll announce it tonight.
Yeah, but I
Okay,
don't know
sure.
the date yet.
Okay, yeah, but
Auntie doesn't even know.
Auntie
I
doesn't
don't
know
even
this.
know
She's
what
been
You're out of the loop because you're hanging out at
chilling
the
at the spa all day.
yeah, chilling at the 5-star hotels.
Hey,
Probably an engineer, insurance
No,
salesman.
Definitely not engineer. Definitely.
insurance salesman.
I wish.
Yeah, you're-
I wish on a lot of these.
maybe in your next life, you'll be
Oh.
an engineer.
I don't know. It's been a long
I
time.
love all
You
the
think
guesses though.
It's
It's
very
fine.
funny. Sorry, guys. We're getting distracted. I'm going to get fussed at. Now you guys are going to get me fussed at. Computer
Ooh, yeah, definitely not a computer programmer.
You can't even set up the live stream.
No, there's a reason she's by the computer and I am not. for
Scientist.
sure.
Science.
You guys are making me cry in a good way tonight. UPS mail
carrier.
Oh,
Very funny.
now
Oh,
this is
it's
the best.
funny.
This is the way I prefer to cry.
Yeah,
Accountant.
Accountant.
I wish for that too.
I know. Well, just
Mrs. E's getting giddy on the imaginary champagne bubbles.
That's
Wow.
funny.
Oh, stars. A crime boss.
Crime boss. That's it. That's it.
You got him, Kay.
I didn't think
They
anybody was
got
going to get
it.
it.
They got it.
Mystery crime. This is my cover for my crime cartel. Anyone that suspects the YouTube crime guy to be a crime
That's so
boss.
funny.
Oh, that's a mystery. That's a mystery. It's a mystery.
How is Auntie related
It's a
to
mystery.
Mr. and Mrs.?
It's a mystery. I know they're just trying to find out about us.
Yeah, interesting.
I
I would have thought it would have been
obvious.
Kay says I knew it.
Maybe
She knew
not.
you were a crime boss. Also, members, you'll notice that you have new little emojis next to your names. I don't love them. They're probably going to change again, but they're supposed to be little like detective people. So, oh, Auntie is Mr. E's sister. Maybe. As long. Oh my gosh, Olivia.
not a
Oh,
crane
that's a good
operator.
one, Olivia.
Oh, stars! You guys are making me fan. Run OnlyFans, but with actual fans. No.
Totally giving off Breaking Bad vibes.
You guys are so funny
That's really
tonight.
funny.
You guys are making. I think we all kind of need to laugh a little bit. The past few days have been stressful.
The last show was really hard on Mrs. E there.
Yeah. Oh, Tiffany. You got it.
Jockey. Yeah, I don't think the horse could handle that.
You can ride a horse though.
Yeah, but I'm a little big.
You're a little tall
jockey.
for the jockey.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe.
HM Hands. That's a good guess.
Like just kind of friend of the family Auntie.
You just
Oh,
never
Kay
know.
said she needed to laugh. It's been a rough week. Well, I'm sorry, Kay. I kind of needed it too. I was telling him that's like part of the announcement. So
I've had a rough week. I've had a rough day.
have you?
Yeah.
It looks like it. Yes, it looks like you're.
All right.
Okay, back to
people
the
are
show.
fussing at us. People are fussing at us.
Back to the show.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not sure if we're going to Paige Turner. I'm not sure if we're going to talk about Warshims tonight. We did talk about it extensively on that other video we did about Warshims.
You know, I do have some notes about Warshims.
Oh, okay.
If we get through the Seth stuff, I just didn't know if we're going to or not.
Okay, we will try to get to the Warsham stuff. Yeah,
because I do have some thoughts on Warshims from some other stuff I was looking at, but it doesn't really fit in exactly with the Seth thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
HM Hand says she thinks she's a random lady.
Yeah, she's somebody that wandered into the our streams here.
Yeah. Aw, you know what? That's very sweet. This is the most I've laughed in a long time. Thank you all. Oh.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, those are some good ones. Very funny.
Mr. E.
A very well polished dog edition.
No.
Dolly after reform school, maybe.
Oh no, we're not going to talk. We don't talk bad about other creators. Can we
locate the infant? Would that be?
Wait.
Can we locate the infant? Would that be a different way of where's the baby?
Oh, that's good.
Mr. E is hungry.
Mr. E needs dinner.
Mr. E needs dinner.
Nourishment.
Yeah, so I just do his show with just
Oh. Tip for Tat says, thanks for being a good sport, Mr. E.
So hilarious.
You have no idea. He's the best sport ever. He's put up with me for like a long time.
No, I can certainly laugh at myself.
Okay,
yes.
What?
Brownie has to
eat. Brownie.
Brownie has to eat.
Good. Yes, we did. Okay. Sorry, we'll get back on track.
Yes,
this did happen, and we are looking into it already.
I forgot to put that in my notes, but that is true. So thank you for pointing that out, Mama Bear, because I did read about that and I forgot to put it down here. But yeah, this is Shelbyville, Tennessee, is where she's talking about, and that's about an hour and a half south of where we're located. So like the south side of Nashville. We're on the north side here. Is there something wrong?
Your hair's crazy with your
Okay.
stuff.
Is that better?
Yeah.
But so a pedestrian in kind of a remote area in Shelbyville found a body on the side of the road somewhere. But we don't know anything about the details. How we don't male, female.
As soon as we find out, though,
but yeah, that did break just maybe an hour or two before we came on.
Stop.
So I know for us, we're always kind of wondering if it's Sebastian on these stories, and I guess theoretically it could be. I mean, we don't know who specifically removed Sebastian, possibly if he's not alive, and what areas they'd be familiar with and might have gone to. So there's no telling what kind of connection any of these people that we suspect may have involvement might have to Shelbyville. Because things I think about are like, of our suspects that we think might have been involved. Where did they camp when they were kids? Did they go hunting? Did they go fishing? Did they go hiking? Or have friends that with a cabin somewhere that they might have thought, oh, this would be a place I could go, and that I wouldn't connect to me personally. Things like that. So who knows? Who knows who this person might be?
How far is it from where you're located?
It's about an hour and a half south of us.
Okay.
So it's kind of like more like around that Franklin. It's not Franklin, but it's near there, right? Shelbyville?
Like Goodlettsville? Past Goodlettsville?
No,
Goodlettsville. Further
Goodlettsville's
south than that.
No.
Yeah. No, like the south side of Nashville.
Okay.
While you're looking that up, I just have to point out that Tiffany says if you all start making soap.
We'll sell loofahs.
What you were joking about selling soap dishes, right?
Yeah. Everybody's buying all this soap. Somebody should make the soap dishes to hold all but we're not going to. I'm going to see. I'm going to make sure I've got this accurate.
Let's see. Oh, and Truth Seeker is only about 20 minutes. Whoops. I saw it somewhere. Where did it go? It jumped.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this map back.
Here, I can pull it up on here. If you guys will bear with me for a second, I'll find it. You said Shelbyville?
Shelbyville, yeah. I think I was seeing that it was on the south side. I just want to be sure I'm right.
Maps. And then let's see.
Sorry for the delay.
So,
see, I'm not a computer expert because even looking at the map on my phone is like.
Okay, hold on.
Dreaming of blue skies and sandy beaches said sell candles.
Sell candles. I wish I had time for that. I actually would. I've always wanted to learn how to make those. Okay, so I just did a quick. I'm going to try to share it on StreamYard. While Mystery is still looking.
Yeah, no, it's
I got it.
It's pretty far south, so it's like.
I got it.
I don't know how to describe.
Oh yeah, it is.
The closest kind of bigger town is Murfreesboro, and it's even further.
Oh, so it's over by Bell Buckle. Oh, that's way out in the boonies.
That's what I meant was Murfreesboro. When I said Goodlettsville, I meant Murfreesboro.
Yeah, it's like almost to Lynchburg, which is like Jack Daniel's whiskey.
Yes. Sorry,
so
I didn't mean to do that.
That's pretty far from here.
I mean, it's not. You know.
It's like if you were thinking on the way to Memphis, for example, that would be really out of the way because he would have had to.
Memphis would have been this way. Can you guys see my pointer?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Memphis would have been this way.
So
over here.
Okay.
It'd be hard to imagine that would be a detour for him if you believe that he was responsible. But another family member, maybe, or another friend or something like that, or just an abductor in general, if we think that. Regardless, it's an awful way. It's just such a I don't know. It's just an awful way to be found. Just kind of laying, for whoever this person turns out to be. But we'll update whenever we find out. My suspicion is it won't be Sebastian, but we just since we don't know where he is, we really just truly do not know.
You need to get that. I can run the show for a minute.
Actually, I might have to take that call.
Okay, you step away.
I don't know anything about this MH370 Malaysian airplane that's missing.
Yeah, do you guys know about it?
I don't know anything about it, but
I'll just go through the chat. Mr. E's bath bombs. That's hysterical.
that's a good one. I thought Tit for Tat had a good question you might be able to answer. She said, what's the mood like for locals in regards to Sebastian? Are people still talking about his case, still have the same suspects in mind?
Honestly, people don't bring it up to me. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Okay. People don't bring it up to me. If I bring it up to them, they just say it's awful. And
oh, another thing, we're not on the screen. It's just the mouse.
Oh, sorry. Well, Mr. E just kicked the thing. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I was answering Tit for Tat's question about the locals in regards to Sebastian. I mean, it depends who you talk to, because there are locals that are obsessed with the case like we are, and they are kind of in the same ballpark of what we think.
Yes.
For the most part. And then we've talked to some official people, and they didn't give us a straight answer, but we got a whole story about how great dogs are for finding lost people.
Oh, I forgot about that conversation.
Yes. And then, but anyway, to answer your question, I've asked, I've got friends that have children at the school. I know that at least her kids were not really talking about him. And asking what the locals. I mean, the school's been out for a while, so
I think if you just did like the average person around here when we talk, it's usually like, oh yes, I remember that story. It's kind of like that.
Right. Like, and when we go outside of Sumner County, though, they know even less.
Yeah.
So we have friends in other counties that are just like don't have a clue about it, which frustrates us because we have all you guys who know as much as we know.
Yeah.
And maybe more in a lot of cases. And it's frustrating to try to go through it. But once you start throwing out all of the things that we did on our red flags.
Right. The people that know about it, they just know he's missing. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know the details. Like the parents and the shoes and the different things that are red flags to all of us. So,
the scent.
I would guess people kind of like really like at the school and things like that. They all know the story. But people kind of outside, it's kind of the further out you get, the less people know.
Well, we have a new
it's not
member.
covered on the local news hardly at all.
It's really not.
It's really now, Nick Barris.
Nick Barris did a post the other day about it. Yeah,
and that's it. And it's brief, and it's basically, and he's giving the police line, which is the, well, there's not really any new developments,
right?
So
Breezy is crushing on the Sandman wants to know if the flyers are still up. Do you mean the flyers that were put up recently? Or do you mean signs?
Probably Betty's, I would imagine.
We
haven't driven into the neighborhood.
We have heard from other people on that side of town through Betty, like just watching her streams, that they may not be there.
There are more.
The car guy, I think, reported they were not.
There are more lawn signs, like the big ones, the expensive ones. There's more of those now than there were.
There are definitely more of those. And actually, we got some from Seth. So through Betty.
Yeah. And so there's more of those around than there were before. And that was actually another thing that Betty mentioned on that live stream that I wanted to talk about, was just the lack of flyers and signs in general. And that was something we had noticed the first time you took me over there 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was blown away by how little there was. I've talked about it several times because I just couldn't wrap my head around how this neighborhood of like 70 or 80 homes, there was not a single sign anywhere for Sebastian except the Proudfoot yard.
Right. The rest of the neighbors.
Completely nothing.
But
And
I mean,
that's I don't know how.
is that the best use of a sign though? Because the neighbors know.
Yeah,
Right.
but but the people that might be coming and going, friends,
Oh, I
or
guess that's true.
you
I
know,
would like to see
delivery
one more
people.
like on Long Hollow Pike, more along that area. That's where I would prefer to see them. But I think you run the risk of the people who come and mow, knocking them over
Yeah.
and stuff. When they're in your own yard, you don't lose them.
See, I'm not thinking about having signs in the neighborhood. I'm not thinking about the neighbors. I'm thinking about people that might visit the neighbors, deliver to the neighbors,
Oh, that's a good point.
watermen, electricians,
Delivery
telephone
people, yeah.
people.
That's a good point.
Ubers, all that stuff
Yeah.
that are not regularly there. That because the thing you're hoping for is that somebody saw something and doesn't realize they saw something important.
That's a good point.
So that's why I think it's weird that there weren't some more signs around except for there.
I would just like to acknowledge our new member.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Me without the glasses, I can't see those come in.
All right.
How are you going to do it?
Okay, you
Schiller.
announce it. Yay!
Thank you,
you.
Thank you very much. We
Yay,
appreciate
Schiller. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you. And like I said, there's going to be an announcement for our members. You guys are going to, I don't know if you're going to like it or not. We'll see. Let's see.
I thought
So-
this was a good comment. W. Smith said this case has really caused a lot of fighting within the community, and it's weird. And it is very, to me, this is one case that is very strange because of all this turmoil that it's caused on YouTube, with YouTubers, with people in the community kind of turning against each other. It's been a really weird situation.
I don't know if people in the community are turning against each other.
Well, I think I think in the neighborhood, I think you've got people that,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
you
Yeah.
know, I think it's caused some issues in the neighborhood among neighbors.
I didn't know that. It's
Well,
caused.
I just think that from the way the neighbors that we've heard speak on camera made it sound like there was a lot of problems with the police and going to the police, and just caused some animosity overall and turmoil, I think, in the community.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Southern Grammy Wolf, hello. And also Karen McIntyre's here. Hi, Karen. All right. And I'm, if you guys that are just joining us see me clap, it's because we cut a watermelon and apparently fruit flies live there. So they are following me.
I've also heard, though, that there is some kind of ordinance in that area where you cannot put flyers on utility poles. I don't know if that's true or not, but I had heard that and other people say that there was like some certain city ordinance.
And there might be in Sumner County, but I lived in Davidson County for a long time, which is Nashville city limits, and there's flyers all over the utility poles and everything there. Sumner
Especially-
County might be different.
But I mean, usually you see those
people
dogs and stuff. Those are always laying around and on utility poles.
Well, people say that it's the whole state, but if you just go down to 21st Avenue, you'll see about 10,000. Vanderbilt College, you'll see about 10,000.
Bands and all kinds of stuff, advertising.
Yes.
So
all the time.
Like
So
hundreds.
Yeah.
I just wondered how much that was enforced.
I mean, Sumner County may be different than others. I've never.
It's one of those things I've never seen someone take a sign off
I don't know that I've seen one though. Have you?
I haven't. No.
Because we're not really a walkable place where people are going to walk up and see. Right. I mean, honestly, the best.
You're driving by these poles that are.
Tell them your idea today about what you thought about where the money should be spent.
Ooh,
I think that's a good idea.
About ways to use, because who was talking about how expensive the signs are? So I don't know who it was. Someone was talking about how expensive these signs are to make, and they are. I mean, color print and things like that is expensive. Someone was saying it's like $1 a sheet or something like that when you factor in the ink and all that kind of stuff, and because it's pricier than you think it is when you're doing color and they're big like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just thought, well, you could do Facebook ads for pennies an ad or an impression,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe get more.
Traction.
You could
You
like
could-
target a region.
Mm-hmm.
If you were like,
Wanted to
we
target
think White House, or we think Goodlettsville or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
pepper the Facebook there for a few days with, Facebook ads are not
ridiculous.
really that crazy expensive.
Well, they're ridiculous right now. I mean, every other thing is a Facebook ad, so
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
that's all it
more
is
people
anyway.
would see it that way. Is what we were thinking.
But if the paper costs are the thing, maybe I don't know. I don't know if people ever do that or not. But I just
Almost like a virtual flyer.
Yeah, and just kind of. Because it's not crazy expensive if you target a specific region and demographic and that kind of thing. But anyway, just kind of a thought I'd had
Let's see. Yeah.
We don't really have W. Smith wants to know about the billboards. We Hendersonville really doesn't have a lot of billboards.
No, there are on 65. So
Yeah,
if there are some on 65,
Yeah.
it is my understanding that there is a creator that is in charge of the billboards and is showing, quite frequently the traction, and it's like a blip billboard. That's my understanding. So just because we haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. If that makes sense. But we just don't have any reason to go out there.
Yeah, it's just an area we personally would never
have
to travel because we wouldn't take 65. We would take Vietnam veterans to go into Nashville every time if we're going that way. So going 65 that side of the county would just make no sense for us, really ever. I can't imagine, because even if we were going north, we would just go cross country eventually so we just wouldn't see it. But like the city limits, they have billboards, but they're like really small, and they're not the blip kind. They're like an eighth of the size of a regular billboard.
Right.
Like our friend that has one.
You guys are making me work tonight.
Dreaming of blue skies and Sandy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I think they want the confetti.
I
think they're going to wear you out on the confetti.
Yes. It just makes me so happy.
You've got options.
No, I'm not. I'm saving the balloons for something special.
Something different.
I'm trying to stay consistent.
Special effects.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We've got some
Dreaming of blue skies, sandy beaches.
Welcome back.
I love that name, though. Yeah. I love that name. Thank you.
So I do want to just go through some other things that Seth talked about. One thing I also thought was interesting, he mentioned that law enforcement contacted him when remains were found, the lady Trinity, and then also there was a homeless man downtown. But at first they didn't know who it was. But they are like quickly informing him to give him a heads up. Hey, this is not Sebastian. Just to kind of put his mind at ease. So that's nice that they are at least. Whatever you want to think of law enforcement right now, that is a good thing that they are keeping in touch with him as potential things might be happening. Betty on the show talked about her strategy as far as places she wants to search. And I think she's coordinating with Seth, right? Like she's kind of helping.
I don't know. I mean, it's, I'd say Seth's in charge because, I mean, I know that Seth has been has been over on that side of town where the next search is going on.
Yeah. I don't know if they're working together on the searches or this is her own searches. Anyway, the areas that she has kind of researched and thought were of interest were Hendersonville, Gallatin, and White House.
Yeah.
And that's all different cities within Sumner County. That's kind of where she wanted to focus. That's another thing she had mentioned.
But where Seth is wanting to search is actually, it's out of the 5 mile. It's got to be. It's got to be pretty close.
And I don't know if he's got a tip or a lead,
right?
Or if there's a reason. But that Rockland Park.
It's near Old Hickory Lake, right?
Yeah.
Is that Old Hickory Lake?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's going to be. And for whatever reason, they were asked to leave after 30 minutes of searching. So they want to complete that search, I think, is the idea.
Okay.
Let's see something. I can't read my own writing. Okay, so I'll skip that one. And I'll go to another thing he talked about.
So he's not a writer. Wait, is that no, that's not right. Calligrapher.
Right. Yeah, definitely not calligraphy. So Seth mentioned that he talked to Chris twice at the vigil. And that vigil keeps coming up, that conversation. That's always been a controversial moment. And that he was hurt that Chris did not come back for the actual vigil. And then the whole thing where Chris says, "Oh well, vigils are for people that are deceased," and Seth, of course, on his show, he's saying, "Well, no, vigils are for prayer, and and we're bringing." I think he used a phrase like bringing darkness to light and that type of thing. And of course, Seth is correct on this about the vigils, but that was the reason that Chris had given. And what it kind of got me thinking about with Chris and Seth's relationship a little was that we, as like us and the folks out here listening, I think most of us probably have the Chris has guilty knowledge camp, right? And that Katie has guilty knowledge, whatever role they play. That's where I think the majority of us in the audience are at. I don't know or think that Seth is necessarily there, because I think he's still being very hopeful, like that Sebastian might be out there.
Well, and they even made the comment during the live, they don't speak in him in the past tense because they still believe and hold out hope that he will be found. And I think that that's the way he's been the whole time, and remains, trying to be positive and holding out for hope that he is still somewhere that he can be found.
Yeah, I just guess, yes. And I think Seth probably doesn't know what to think, because if you try to put yourself in his shoes, you're talking about, his former wife. They have a child together. And Chris, and I know they've had a up and down relationship, but there have been times where they have been kind of friendly. I think they've played video games together or whatever in the past. And, they've had, volatile up and down, get along, don't get along. It's been like that. It's kind of my impression of the way they describe things in the past. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're not. Either way, to think that someone that you trust that way or have trusted in the past could be capable of the worst thing imaginable and hide that from you, and it'd be kind of hard to accept. Might be easier for us to suspect, but for him, him living it, it would be almost you would try to rationalize the whole thing away and make. Seth will probably be the last one, if that ends up being true, the last one to be able to accept it. And so anyway, that's what it made me think when he said that he was hurt by Chris not going to the vigil. To me, it makes sense why Chris didn't go to the vigil. But for Seth, he was hurt and didn't understand it. And to me, if he has guilty knowledge, I understand why Chris didn't want to go face all those people. I think that's what that's all about. They don't want to face the crowd because they know what kind of reception they're going to get. That was all thoughts I had after hearing him talk about that.
Okay, so I'm looking at Seth's search area. So it's about 13 miles away. I'm going to show this if I can get it.
The Shelbyville.
Is
that what,
no,
you mean the search.
The search. I'm going to show you. That's so that's the area in which it had. Sebastian went missing.
Oh, sorry.
What happened?
I don't know. I'm on there.
So it is out of that 5 mile.
It's 13 miles.
And I do think it's time to get out of the 5 mile radius. I agree with that.
Well, and I think they've said that more than once, that they feel like they have exhausted the 5 mile radius, and they've said it many times. And I'm not sure why they haven't gone out before now.
Yeah, so there's some areas down there. I know that area well.
I did want to point out Wally's World of Entertainment. I thought that was bizarre. I've never heard of that. Sorry.
I've never heard of it either.
But I thought, So there's the rudder that they kept talking about meeting at. So I'm guessing that's probably the area they'll meet at again, if I had to guess.
And that green area is what they're, and that's it's just the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and
they may have had to get permission. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to have special permission for that. That area, I don't know if this was why, but that area was hit by the tornado that came through and destroyed a lot of stuff in Hendersonville. And that, like, that marina was destroyed and is still being built back. So maybe that was why they couldn't search. Perhaps that was the reason. I don't know why they were told.
I just thought everybody would want some point of reference.
So I could see why they think that might be a good place to search, because if you've ever seen the videos or the maps where the beach high school is, if you go to that beach high school and
I can get the beach
coming from the Proudfoot's home, okay, you would have Beach High School on your left, and then you'd have this road on your right.
New Shekel Island. You're coming.
What road is that they're showing?
They're showing Center Point Road.
Oh, yeah. So you could go.
That's
that
a
way.
shortcut. Yeah.
I'm going to be gone for just one second,
work.
guys. And I'm going to mute myself, and I'll be gone just for a second.
Okay.
Actually, that way makes more sense if you're wanting to be more discreet. Anyway.
We need to go that route.
So I didn't realize that that's where that road went.
Well, but Center Point, when you get up here, there's going to be cams and stuff.
Yeah, but you're already like 6 miles away. I mean, no matter what you do, you're eventually hitting cameras. But at least you're not getting caught on camera right by the house.
Okay.
Right? I don't know that we'll have to drive that and see if there's any.
Do you guys want us to drive that? Sorry, I think we forgot that we were like on a live stream. We started talking like normal. I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, we talk like normal anyway, right?
I know, but I mean, even more normal than usual.
But yeah, so you could go down Center Point Road and get there, and probably only hit one street cam. Because this is something that Mrs. E and I have been talking about. Like, if he was removed in that car at 3 a.m., what paths could you take and avoid the most street cameras? And like going back toward the high school, that road, that you probably would try not to do that if you could help it, because there would be a street cam right there.
We'll have to drive it. If you guys want us to drive it, please put a 1 in the chat. Or if you don't care, put a 2. We'll probably drive it anyway. It just matters if we're going to record it or not.
Yeah.
And also, I want to thank Tit for Tat gifted another membership.
Thank you, Tit for Tat.
Yay! I forgot.
Grace and has changed her avatar again.
And she's beautiful. Let's see. What did we do for that? We didn't do confetti, did we? Did we do confetti or stars?
For the gifted.
For gifts.
I don't know.
All right, let's give her some stars. Woo!
Could be a surprise every time. You're gonna have to come up with more.
I will. What is Auntie doing? Oh, my stars.
Auntie,
turn off your camera. Oh, my stars.
Careful, Auntie.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to turn it off.
What is going on?
Thank you, Tit for Tat. You're the
thank you very
sweetest. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so maybe we could go down. Well, Anyway,
we'll talk about it.
If let's say one of the theories has been, were the people involved, were they aware of that 5-mile radius thing? Like, did they know that was generally how these searches were done? And it just kind of depends on their awareness of how law enforcement works in these situations. If they they might have looked at a map or whatever and said, you know what, Army car, the Army engineer, it's not land you can just go walking through.
Maybe he's got a good reason for wanting to search it.
I mean, it's not a place that you can just go hiking into. That's not terribly far away.
Well, because we own not you. Well, I guess technically you own some property that's connected to Army Corps of Engineers, and you can't cross into it. You get in big trouble.
It's very much
right, Auntie.
But if you were in the dead of night and you were wanting to put someone somewhere where people just couldn't go walking through, it's in a metro area, but a fairly
but let's drive over there before we decide that, because I feel like there's a lot going on over there on that road.
But I mean, once you get into that marina area,
I know, but I'm thinking about cameras and stuff.
We can go check it out.
Yeah, we're going to check it out whether you guys want to.
Obviously, there's going to be a search in a few days, so hopefully, yeah.
That's a good point, Tit for Tat. We can't all be wrong, right?
Right. Yes, they're hiding something. So Tiff Attack says the thing that gets me is that we can't all be wrong. They're so obviously hiding something, in my opinion. Yeah, and I've tried to wonder before, because I try to really try not to. I don't want to think these parents are responsible
Uh,
for the worst thing imaginable. So I've tried to wonder, could it just be that they have other skeletons in the closet that they're
Yeah.
concerned about, and that's why they've been so deceptive? Um, just other, like, maybe just some bad stuff in the CPS reports they didn't want coming out that doesn't
Mhm.
really directly involve. I'm just saying these are kind of debates I've had in my mind, trying to
Right.
wonder if could they be being deceptive, because there's no question they're deceptive. They're misleading it,
Mhm.
especially Chris. Um, but why? Could it be a reason other than Sebastian directly? Maybe there's just other things he doesn't want the world to find out about that.
Right. That he doesn't want his past dug into.
Or just something else that we just don't know.
Um, Can I
But
say a few things? First of all, Aunt E looks better. Now you have a neck, so that's nice. And then Zoots and Boots has been trying to
yeah,
has been commenting, and I've been meaning to get to it and we get on something
Sure.
else.
and I
So
always like to say Zoots and Boots anyway.
yeah,
Chris seemed more opposed to the religious meaning
at
at
Seth's
Seth's big vigil. Is it that Chris believes his religious beliefs are superior to Seth's?
Don't know.
That's how I took that quote.
Oh, really?
That's how I read. That's how I took it. Yeah.
Interesting. And she
But
said,
they have said, "Oh no, I meant this," or um, that. That's just how it sounded to me. It just sounded.
Well, he also made that comment, that if you want to find Sebastian, you can find him in church.
That's the one. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was strange.
that was a
That's what.
strange comment, and I don't know that. I don't.
Seth is a traditional Catholic, and the Proudfoots consider themselves separatist Christians. I don't know what a separatist Christian is. I'm not sure.
I didn't know that about either.
I know some Catholics.
You do.
Yes, I do.
I've never heard separatist Christians. I'm not
I've
sure what
never heard
means.
that. Yeah. Also, I would like to say that Rhonda was the winner of Tit for Tat's winner.
Congratulations, Rhonda. And
So-
thank you, Tit for Tat, again for
But
doing that.
well, you know what she gets. Yay, Rhonda! Welcome.
Congratulations.
All right. Sorry. I'm going back.
And
Let's see.
I was able to decipher my note from the set.
Oh, good.
YouTube. This wasn't huge, but it was just kind of interesting, I thought.
And
Yeah.
by the way, most people want us to go check it out.
Oh, yeah.
Lucy loves the stars.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I think it's right there. That's got to be why they were looking at it.
Did we wake her up? No, Karen. Aunt E is at a luxury resort hotel, and we didn't even ask her to join tonight because we knew she was taking the night off, and then she found us anyway. So
Yeah.
I was bored.
Oh, I bet you weren't. I bet you were having fun.
So there was one thing that Seth had mentioned about the flyers. He said he had gone to some stores where there had been flyers in the past, and that when he went in, one employee told him that they had taken the flyer down because someone had come in and told them that the kid had already been found. Do you recall that part of the
Yes.
YouTube?
Yes.
Sorry, I spaced out. I was
It's
thinking
okay.
about that comment.
I know.
Sorry. Okay.
I got
Yeah,
cold, so I put the robe on. So I've got layers.
Oh yeah, we don't need that kind of. That's right, tit for tat. We don't want a 1202 Auntie. Just kidding. Yeah, we don't need that kind of controversy.
No.
No matter what it was, we don't want it.
What did you think on the store clerk telling Seth that?
I'm sorry. Will you tell me again? I am.
You probably
I
you
spaced
might
out.
have missed it because it was just a brief thing he talked about on the show. But he
I
was saying
yeah.
he was saying that he went to one of the stores where he had gone to several stores where the flyers had been previously gone, and that one clerk had told him that someone had come in and said, "Oh, that kid's been found," and that's why they took the sign down.
I had heard that story before. I don't know if I heard him say it like in a, he was on several streams there for a while, so I don't know if I heard him say it before or if But when he said it, I knew I'd already heard him say it once.
My thinking was that they probably had just taken the sign down, and that when the father comes in, they just kind of made up a quick excuse.
I kind of felt like it was an excuse.
That's kind of what I thought. So I don't always think that these signs coming down is necessarily like the Bower Sox going around and, although I think they've done some things, I don't think it's always like, I think that the signs on the posts, that probably is the electric company doing it. I can't prove that, but why would they just take down the flyers and not the big yard signs? The yard signs are the ones that are really expensive and get the most eyeballs. So I would guess maybe it is sometimes the Bower Sox or other family members taking them down, but I would guess that it is actually the electric. It's just weird to me that because those things are hard to get to, and she did a lot of them, and they're like, you got to go through these like ravine kind of places out in these thick.
Right.
So they're going out there and popping these staples off a couple hundred poles. Yeah. Okay, I guess, but.
Let's just drive over there too. We're driving. We'll just go drive over there too and check it out.
Well, if we're going to go over there and check out this, we can check and make sure they're still there or not.
It's in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, she did some in Sebastian's neighborhood too, though, right?
I have no idea.
Yes,
Yeah,
she did. She did all around the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, they're not going to leave those there.
Yeah, we've never been to the Bower Sox neighborhood at all. I don't think.
Okay, I think Lisa wants to know the update that you talked about. I think she missed you talking about the update for the Shelbyville.
For Shelbyville?
Wait.
She said, "Is there any news about it?"
The old that's in Shelbyville, right? Old Nashville Dirt Road.
No, yeah, it was when I saw it was unidentified. Even the gender was still unknown.
Well, as soon as we hear anything, we'll go live.
Yeah, absolutely. They weren't releasing anything other than it was a pedestrian that found the body, and that it was a few feet into the woods, it seemed.
And also, Lisa, we determined it's about an hour and 15 minutes from Nashville, and it's toward Lynchburg, Tennessee. Also, just Susan Smith, welcome. Happy you're here. And Karen McIntyre wanted to let all of our members know that I'm going to be announcing a little something for our members and see what you guys think about it. And we'll do that in a little bit. Okay, sorry.
That was all the notes I had on the show as far as any news. So there really wasn't a lot of huge. Oh, there was one other. Sorry, I forgot this one.
Go for it.
Seth said again that forensics, to his knowledge, were never done in the home. So that was another. But we've kind of heard that before. I think that's everything that was kind of like newsworthy. Just in a more broad way, he's getting a lot of criticism about just having a YouTube channel in general, and and whether or not he's going to be monetized and that kind of thing. But I think it's it's not really our business. I think it's good to keep Sebastian's name out there. If he wants to have a YouTube channel, that's his prerogative, and I don't know what the strategy is, what the plan is, but if he's looking to generate money, I know he's spending money on materials. Those big signs that he's been getting out are really expensive to do. We've done stuff with those materials before, and that stuff is not cheap.
Yes.
And printing of any kind, like any color printing, is always expensive. And so, and he's shipping things out, and it's not free. And I don't know. It looks like he's going to stream once every week or every 2 weeks. So he's not likely to make a lot of money doing that at that rate, right?
I mean, yeah,
he might. I don't know what his, it's a different situation than typical YouTubers, because the people might be more inclined to just give him more money to help with, because he's the parent.
Right.
I don't know, but
sorry, I'm trying to.
I don't know. I don't really have a big problem with him having a YouTube channel. There's a benefit to being in control of your own voice. It's kind of like when people go onto Twitter or whatever and bypass the media. You can get it straight from the horse's mouth. He's not having to rely on YouTubers or reporters or anybody else to deliver his message for him. If there's something he wants to say and deliver, he'll have a very direct way to do that to the public now that he's kind of learning how the streaming works.
Right.
I thought he did a pretty good job with it. Something I always think too is, we've in various ways, all three of us actually have been spoken in front of the public in various situations. We've career-wise, we all three have done this. So we're comfortable with the idea of being in front of people and talking to people and communicating and all of that. But Seth really doesn't have that background, So this kind of whole thing is new to him, and I thought he did good, and he'll get better as it goes.
I just thought he had a lot of sincerity, and it gives people a true glimpse into what his life was like and as a child, Sebastian's, and also, he said, he talked about law enforcement, and I think he'll use it as a way to update as much as he can say, about his communication. I thought that was nice to hear that he is now keeping in more regular contact with them than at first we were hearing, he was not talking to them and they were not updating him. And it sounds like they are doing a better job at that.
I forgot about that. He did mention he's going to the Sumner County office today, so he should have been there today, supposedly.
So hopefully he'll give us some more info.
I did want to.
You looking for something?
Yeah, just a couple of quick. So and these things can help. That YouTube channel can help. So I had looked up. Did searches on podcasts that solved murder cases. And there's tons of articles out there of examples of people doing podcasts where they, just by the fact that they did the podcast, led to a break in a case, solved a crime, found a person, or whatever. There's tons of these examples out there. So who knows? Him doing that might catch an eyeball somewhere. There's several that I think of as examples. The one is the recent one, the teenager from Michigan that had schizophrenia that was seen on a live stream that was happening in Florida. He just happened to walk by and somebody sees him and recognizes him, and that's how he gets found, which is just an unbelievable thing. And that's just due to YouTube. There's several of those examples on Crime Junkies and that kind of thing that have happened over the years.
He loves Crime Junkies.
Where the family members have gone to the press and had vigils or had their own YouTube podcasts and they've gotten things solved. Or so the media can be very helpful, however people take it in, and good for him for doing it. And I hope it goes well. I don't know. Have any thoughts on
Seth is getting a lot of love in the chat, so and he deserves it. I would have some advice for him going forward, though. I don't know. We kind of talked about this. I feel bad saying it.
Well, I mean,
I have a background in public relations, advertising, marketing, all those things,
right.
And we were talking about this prior to the show, and I said that I really wish he would not say that he's going to be doing updates if he's not going to be doing updates.
Right.
Because I'll tell you why. It's nothing against Seth. I enjoyed the stream thoroughly. I was in there with my green hearts and crying with everybody else. But on the Pascal show a few months ago,
right.
They came up and they said, we're gonna release these CPS reports, right?
Right.
And everybody, thousands and thousands of people watched the Pascal show for them to say, no, we're not going to release these CPS reports.
Right.
And then, he has his debut the other night, and it was, we've got updates, which everybody's like, oh, thank goodness, we need some updates. We all wanted to know the updates. We wanted to be there to support him. I would have supported him with or without with or without the updates in the title. I would have supported him either way. I guess what I'm saying is that going forward, he may not want to take those terms lightly. and then say, oh, no, we're not going to do updates tonight. We're going to do that next time. They may not want to put that out there and pull it back anymore,
Right.
because once is like, okay, so something weird happened with the CPS reports. The lawyer says no. Okay. Number 2, we were doing updates, and then Tony Math is like, no, we're not doing updates tonight.
Right.
You just don't want to keep people on the line like that, because eventually when you do have something to say, people aren't going to listen. It's like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
You don't want.
You lose
And
trust.
I know people are probably gonna get mad at me for saying that. And I support what he's doing. I have no problem with him having a YouTube channel. I think he's got a right, just like everybody else does, to have a YouTube channel. And if it gets, like we said, the more he talks, the more we learn. And about Sebastian, and that might help with this case that maybe he doesn't even realize,
Right.
So anyway, that's my soapbox.
No, that's good. I mean, I think you're right. We want his strategy to be successful.
Yes. So
I'm
trying to give him PR advice.
Right. We
from
want
an actual PR person.
Right. And like we were saying, this is not his background. He's not. I would guess
But
he's
he is
never
being
really
advised by someone who calls himself a PR person. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. I think he calls himself a PR person, but I don't think that's exactly the role he takes. Right. I mean, it's not exactly.
I know. I don't think that's the role he takes, but I think that's the term he uses.
But that's not really what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he, you just, you got to be careful with an audience, and you can't. We work with the public our whole life.
What is going on?
I don't know.
There's something. Okay. Sorry. I won't stay if it's allowed to bash other creators. That's only why I'm subscribed to like 3 channels, because the constant criticism of true crime podcasters. Who are we bashing?
I think she's saying in the chat, possibly. If there's something in the chat, please let us know.
We do try to stay away from. It looks like maybe.
Who?
Maybe that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what it is? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
In chat, and she just says in chat.
Well, I think that Rocky's been watching us for a long time. I think that they don't like that you're bashing another creator, and we actually make it a rule that we kind of don't talk about other creators if we can help it.
See, it's hard.
I think hard. I don't think she was really bashing them. She was just saying, bye, like lose them, like her opinion.
Her opinion
is that he should lose Tony and lose Betty.
Okay,
she wasn't bashing.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
It is hard because.
Do you need to take that? Maybe. Yeah. Sorry, we got some work stuff going on.
I think that was just her opinion, saying that maybe that Seth should lose both of them. But I think the thing is with Seth, he doesn't have the confidence to do it on his own yet, and he doesn't have the expertise at all to talk with people, and both of the other people that were assisting him do, and I think that's why he's utilizing them. And maybe as he gets a little stronger and more confidence built, he may drop the other people.
Yes, and he'll need to find his own voice in his own way, the way he wants to present his information and stuff. And I know that Betty has been integral in helping him get started. So I think that she was there for moral support and for all kinds of stuff. So I'm sorry, you guys, Mama Bear and Lisa.
But Rocky says it there. She was just saying he could do a wonderful job on his own.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah, we don't want to have fighting, guys. If everybody wants to fight, there's a lot of channels out there fighting lately. We don't want to fight. We want to get along. We're a happy family over here.
Right. I think she was just saying he did a good job on his own, and he would. And it's
right.
Yeah.
No. and we want everybody to be happy. We love all you guys. Oh, sorry. Back to what was I saying? I was talking about the PR side. Did you have anything else to say about that? Aunt?
Sorry, say that again.
I said, did you have anything else to say about the PR stuff? I can see that we need a new chair. I just saw that. Wow.
Been a little rough on the chair. I think that yeah, that PR is something it's a slippery slope, and you really need people that kind of have a background in it. And I don't think necessarily Tony is that's his background at all. I just think he has a helping heart and wants to help
Right.
in whatever capacity. And I think he's doing the best he thinks he can. But if people can help Seth and reach out to him and give him some suggestions, but I think he's so overwhelmed with what's going on. You just can't bombard him with things. But I do think that maybe a different approach for relaying information, being consistent, just kind of have some ground rules would be the best bet for him.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, guys, I don't want to continue. Rocky is apologized, and
Let's move on.
so has Zoots and Boots, and let's not continue on with it. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Andrea. What's the latest news on Sebastian? Well, we've been going over that for a little bit. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. I'm going to go through this.
We've just been reviewing his dad. Seth did a live a couple nights ago, kind of explaining what his next approach to searches are going to be, and kind of shared a little bit about Sebastian's life. So we went over that information, and we're just kind of been talking about the searches and things that have been going on in the last few days.
And Mystery had to step out on a phone call. And thank you guys for being gracious to each other in the chat. I see that, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I have a tender heart when it comes to this stuff, and I don't want people fighting at all. That's just how I feel.
And chat's a lot like text. Sometimes it can totally be taken the wrong way. So, it's exactly the same.
Right.
And as long as we just want to keep our forum and our platform are very positive and treat everybody with respect. And that's what we try to do with the other creators as well. We try not to talk about them, bash them in any way, but we in no way want to be part of the drama.
No.
We just kind of want to keep our noses clean.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, Mr. E can answer this a lot better than I can, because he is kind of, I know a little bit about.
Is this a question for a crime boss?
Yeah. Are you good, crime boss?
We're
Did you
good
take
now.
care of your, what are they called?
What am I?
What would a crime boss's people be called? Like thugs?
Talk to one of my
his crimies.
Your crimies.
Yeah. So what was the question for me?
Marilyn and Sam says, I'm new. And I keep hearing how much this case is like Summer Wells. Do you agree?
It is a lot.
And I was saying that you won't allow me to really look into that too much because you want to show it to me live, because show me, some interviews live and things.
It's similar in the way that what?
Mr. E, the crime boss. I think that's his favorite one that you guys put out there for his occupation.
It's similar in that the way the parents had a narrative that they were trying to push, and were very dedicated to it. So the Wells family, they were very dedicated to. Summer was 5 years old when she disappeared, basically on their property, right? Kind of in a mountainous area out East Tennessee. And they were very much wanting to believe that she was kidnapped. That was the story. That there was no other possible way that she could have disappeared. And they're in the middle of like the mountainous, wooded area, like all kinds of places a little kid could have just, especially a 5-year-old, could have fallen down a ravine or a creek or they're out in the middle of the woods. but they really wanted to sell that she had been kidnapped and that she couldn't have possibly gotten lost. And so, it was kind of like, that's strange. And for the Proudfoots, they very much wanted you to believe that the only thing that could have happened is that he walked out the front door and then just vanished.
Right.
So they were kind of similar that way. Both were barefoot. In both situations, it
There's
was
a lot of barefoot when you
was-
start looking at it.
It was the mother at home where I don't know, Don was the real father, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don's the real father, but Chris is the step. But in both situations, both of those men weren't even present, but they were the ones that ended up calling law enforcement. And then supposedly, and we really weren't around for the Summer Wells thing as far as our channel goes.
You want to
But I
tell
hear from a lot of
new
other
people?
creators.
You might want to tell the new people why we started
Sure.
ours.
But I do hear from a lot of the creators that this drama circus kind of atmosphere that's kind of popped up is sort of what happened, where you have these fake characters and people kind of coming out of the woodwork with information that's not valid, and those kind of things that are starting to happen with this case were also happening with Summer Wells, and of course at this point it's not solved, and it looks. I know that people that followed Summer Wells, it always kind of felt like, oh, this thing's going to break any minute, any minute. And that's kind of how this has felt, that, oh, and there's so much information. Surely we're going to, but every month goes by and we are not getting charges. And so that's sort of, I think, where people are talking about it being similar to Summer.
This is a sweet comment.
Yeah. TJS wife 2004 says, Sebastian has touched my heart so much that I actually had a dream about him last night. In my dream, my husband and I found him while on vacation.
And I've had weird dreams too. So about this, and he'll wake up in the middle of the night I don't know, how would you explain it? Just kind of startled.
Yeah, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling and thinking about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just so troubling.
And just so everybody knows, we're not trying to bash Seth by any means. That was just some advice for him going forward for his channel. Not that we're a new channel. I'm just saying that if he wants to continue to have people want to be there, that he needs to be careful the way he handles. I don't know.
Yeah, you want people
the marketing.
Yeah, and it's an arena that's new to him.
Yeah.
Ultimately he's in charge. I'm sure he gets advice from people, but he's the one that has to make the calls on stuff.
And if he, like I said, I have no problem with him doing a channel. I think it's great. Yeah. I think it's wonderful. I want to hear more from him. So.
Well, I think it might be the only update we get from law enforcement is through him.
Yeah, and I'd certainly rather listen to Seth talk than old Sling Blade. So that's just my opinion, though.
Maybe he'll get them to come on his show.
Oh, that's interesting. I doubt it because like we talked about with the red flags, the money things.
There's a lot of things he could actually do,
and I'm sure he was monetized after that stream. I'm sure he got monetized during that stream because he's had like 18,000 views.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Oh,
yeah,
he did.
Want to know.
Yeah, then I'm sure he'll be. It'll take a week or two, right, for him to apply and do all that or whatever.
You can apply and get accepted pretty quickly. Yeah. Karen says she's always been wondering about the barefoot kids and the missing cases because trackers and shoes, possibly. I don't know. I don't know if they're. Legally, could they be tracking in shoes? I'm getting some messages. Let me see what it's all about. Hold on. Okay, that's something else. Let's see.
Sling Blade lies.
Yeah, we went.
What? We were really far back. Yeah, Sling Blade lies. Yeah, I didn't care for that, and for a variety of reasons. Oh, I wanted you to tell them what our background for the new people who I know that old people. I'm sorry, just give us like 30 seconds.
You heard this before, but Yeah, so we do live in Sumner County, and we have a son with autism, and a few times over the years we've had him uh, escape from us, left our home, and that type of thing. And so we've always kind of got that fear, like many people with an autistic child do, that they'll just leave and just decide that there's somewhere they want to go, a swing or a pool or whatever, and that he'll just be gone and not have the awareness to tell us first that he's leaving, right? And so we always kind of have that in the back of our mind. He hasn't done that in a few years, but he could certainly, if he decided there was something he wanted, he might do that. And so, of course, when the Sebastian story happens, and it's just down the road basically from us, we became very much invested in it, and it was really upsetting. And then as the hours went by, and then eventually like a day or two went by, just terrified that this young man was just lost somewhere out there and not going to be found. And at a point, we had volunteered or reached out to someone we knew that knew them, and had offered to help. Thinking, and our thinking at that was, got a kid with autism. Maybe we could be helpful. Like, we kind of know how kids with autism can think, like how they might want to certain things they were attracted to that maybe typical kids aren't. And so we thought, we know how they think. Maybe we'd be useful. And we were told, that they didn't want any help, and that they didn't even want their last name known to anyone.
Well, they didn't say
Right.
they didn't want any help. What it was is that the police said they wanted everybody to stop trying to help. That they wanted to kind of,
Right.
but they didn't say they didn't want help. What? Because I had the conversation.
Right.
I said, if you need it, please let us know if you need any help, or if we can provide anything or do anything to help out.
Okay.
And that person said they would let them know. And of course, we never heard from them.
Right.
And the other thing was that the Proudfoot said, or I said something to the effect of, I think about this kid every day and pray for him and pray for his parents. And I don't even know their names. I had to really go searching to find more information about Sebastian. And my friend said, well, their names are Chris and Katie, but they don't want their last name out there in the public.
Right.
That was it for me, as far as like, that was my first red flag.
First red flag. Yes.
Mhm.
So.
And that was early on.
Right.
And I agree. Mama Bear has a good point. I wouldn't be able to work maybe ever again if my child vanished. And I think I have said that before, is that there, some people are, the kind of people that will go out and fight. And then there are some people that, can't, I don't know if handle it's the right word, but some people retreat. And,
They can't cope as easily.
right. There's some people who just get mad when terrible things happen. There's some people who get sad. I used to be the kind of person who got mad. Now I just get sad. So I understand it. And Aunt E is someone who just gets mad. So, and that fuels her.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah,
But
so
that's a good
basically
point, though.
that happened, and then over the course of the next few weeks, we were following the story, and we were talking about these things all the time.
oh, somebody
And
told
we-
us in chat their last name.
We'd be on the what's that?
Somebody in chat told us their last name.
Oh,
Well, that was several months ago. I've learned their last name since then.
oh yes,
That's funny.
I got it. I get it now. But so basically, we were having these conversations, and we had lots of theories and ideas, and we felt like we didn't see really a platform or place where that kind of discussion that we were having,
Mm-hmm.
and we wanted to we just thought, well, when maybe we could just start to do this, and did, and that's kind of how we got into all of this. And now that we're following the Sebastian story, and we'll always be dedicated to that story, number one, really.
Mm-hmm.
But we, over time, as other stories have popped up, that we've, you feel a responsibility once the platform kind of grows to, if we can bring awareness to other missing kids here and there, and talk about other stories, and
Mm-hmm.
like the little girl that went missing, the Serenity child out in around the 4th of July, and similar situation to Sebastian, where she had.
We're gonna do this again.
Oh no, okay, so we won't do that again because we've already done that update. But yeah, so
What I'm saying is I broke down and cried in our last live stream. So
yeah, so so that's how we're viewing the channel, and that the angle will be critical thinking, logic, trying not to stay away from all rumors and focus on what we know and what we can, if we can somehow search for truth. That's the goal, is searching for truth, even if it's against our theories. Our theories have changed over time. Trying to challenge our own biases, and you'll see that from our chat. That's the kind of folks that have been attracted to our channel. That's the kind of conversation we ultimately always end up having toward the end of all these live streams, or different theories and ideas, and a respectful place, hopefully, where we can all talk about things in these cases without, I don't mind someone telling me that my theory is wrong, or I've got something wrong. I want that. I want the truth, whatever the truth is. So
right.
I don't mind the conversation that way, and that's kind of what we're hoping to do. You gotta. Susan Smith says, my family lost my youngest brother to leukemia in 2010, and my mom has never been the same. Grieving mom has changed. She doesn't go camping.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. We've had some experience with cancer in our family as well. Yeah. Breezy is crushing on the Sandman says, I think it would be great if you did red flags with each parent. Just a thought. I agree. I don't know about you guys, but I loved the red flags.
Oh yeah, that's Mrs. E's favorite
episode. If you loved it as much as I did, put some red flags in the chat so I can see that I am right and prove it to this one. So that would be great.
It was a good episode.
Yeah, because they are different. There's some, they are different. They're not this. Yeah, they could be in their own category.
Lisa B always is like, yes.
I keep wanting to do an episode just on Chris, because I think he's very interesting.
And he's been working on it, actually. It's been pretty good. Oh, I've got some red flags.
Because in a weird way, because we haven't really honed in on Chris much.
Look at all the red flags. Look at all the people that agree with me that they want more red flags.
Yeah.
That was definitely an episode where everybody got to participate.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And one thing I've learned from the folks that follow, a lot of people have had personal tragedies with their own children.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's why you're drawn to these kind of cases too.
Red Flag Wednesday.
These endangered kids pull at your heartstrings, and that's probably why there's so much interest. Because that's a lot of our audience have had children that have either been missing or passed away. And so Karen, hey, hi Karen. I don't think we've talked to you tonight. My brother.
You have.
Oh, we have.
Yeah.
My brother passed when I was 8 and he was 10. Oh man, my mom cried until she passed away. AT&T commercial. She cried all the time.
Those AT&T commercials, man.
I don't know. That Chevy commercial last year got me. I cried. It was devastating.
Yeah,
it was devastating.
It was a good commercial. Best one. Best one forever.
Breezy was saying we could just do like Red Flag Wednesday.
Okay. Well, maybe this is a good time since we're kind of at a weird point.
Okay.
All right. All right, members. All right.
Oh, you're actually going to do your announcement.
You want me to do my members announcement? Okay. So, and Aunt E does not know about this, and she may or may not participate. I'm not sure. I had an idea for members because I was trying to figure out how we could do a members only chat and that kind of stuff, and trying to figure all those things out. So, I thought what might be fun is for us to do a members only once a month, maybe more if everybody likes it. But for now, once a month, do a members only true crime trivia night where we have a game show for prizes. Members, if you like that idea, would you please let me know in the chat so I know? What do you think, Olivia? Is that something interesting, or is that I don't know. Nobody's saying anything, so I'm guessing that I think they
Maybe
hate
not.
it. They
Yeah,
hate
well, we'll
it.
try it, and then we'll see what happens.
So how would
It
it
would
work?
it would be kind of like just general true crime trivia. So like for example, I don't know.
Oh, like
Like,
name the person convicted of killing their pregnant wife in a
right,
blah 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 in
right.
whatever year, and the answer would be like Scott Peterson.
Right.
And I think the idea is that we don't want to do something like we don't want people to miss out on these conversations,
Right.
but just kind of something fun for the members where to kind of make that fun and a way to kind of socialize and also uh, Mrs. E has been having a hard time in particular, I think, with the heaviness of some of our topics
Yeah.
because they've just been hard lately,
Yeah.
and so kind of have a take a little a
I've been
break.
called an empath before, but I don't know that I necessarily believe that. I just think I have a lot of
You take all passing away hard,
pretty hard. Yeah.
very hard.
Mhm.
People you don't know, people you've never met.
Okay.
I know. You just do.
You got to stop.
You feel
Let's
it.
start. It's
You always
coming.
feel it. I know.
Okay. But at any rate, we thought that would be kind of fun. And then we thought we could do some prizes and stuff. And I'll give you guys plenty of notice. It'll probably be a Tuesday night if I had to guess. Um, if you could have us tune in during the week to do our homework.
Ooh, we might have some things we could throw in during our other lives, and they would have to listen to those to know some of the answers.
Oh.
That's an interesting thought. Make it harder for us, Aunt E. Thanks.
I just wanted to say this because I
got
was
that.
thinking
I got that from Karen.
I was thinking about this, Mama Bear, to do the red flags with Seth to see if we could even try. Because Mama Bear was saying, I see 0 red flags with Seth. I had thought, and more out of I don't like to validate my own thoughts. I try to challenge and see if I can think the opposite direction. Almost go, I don't know, can I even think of red flags with Seth and challenge my own biases? You know what I mean? And if I can't, then maybe I'm on the right track. And if I do start to go, well, you know what? Actually, there are a lot of red flags with Seth.
He has these, but you have these internal things in your mind.
This is what I'm doing with Chris too in my mind. I'm doing one of the things I've been trying to just a mental exercise is, can I come up with a scenario where it's possible that Katie could have done something to Sebastian and Chris genuinely not know?
We were talking about that last night.
Is there any way that could be possible?
I think
like get conned or snowed by her, and I don't know. It's just
maybe
something
at the
I
beginning.
was trying to see.
I don't know. Well, but we should save that. That's
but anyway,
a whole
these are
other
the kinds
topic.
of things I think about just to see what's.
But you do. He has these things all the time, and he's discussing with me.
But that's how you get to truth, though. Like you don't try to confirm things you already think. You try to challenge yourself and see if you can prove yourself wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've done some character analysis on Katie and her behaviors, and I've kind of been thinking about the reason she behaves the way she does. And
I think there's a lot of good reason.
Aunt E, a couple of episodes ago, you mentioned you had a theory and that you were going to share it at some point in the future.
She shared it.
What was the theory? You did share it?
Did you? I thought you did.
I thought you said you weren't ready to share it yet.
Well,
actually, real quick, Merge says, I'm working on that, Merge. I'm working on that.
Oh, yeah.
I am working on that. It's really difficult because you have to go through every single thing. So, yes, I'm working on that. So, stay tuned. I guess, you know what? We all have such bad memories. Go ahead and tell it again if you want.
My theory, our theory has always been that there's at least 3 people that know what happened. And I really feel like the vehicle that was there in the middle of the night with the flashlights, I feel like, that was when the exchange took place. I feel like that's when he left the neighborhood. And I feel like that if he could have been met halfway between for a trade off, or I just feel like there was 3 people involved, at least 3. And I feel like there was one at the home, one at the pickup, and one that met at another spot to pick up and dispose. That's kind of what I feel like, or to drop off somewhere else, wherever that may be. But I feel like it's a 3-person process, and I think there was one person in the home, brought him out. He was taken by car to someone else who took him at that point. I think that's where the 3rd person came in.
A separate exchange.
Yes, I think there were 2 exchanges. That we were kind of doing it on one exchange. I think there was 2 exchanges. And I think that would answer a lot in our mind as to the time factors.
It would also possibly explain why it's so difficult for law enforcement to track if they did do a second exchange.
Yeah, I think there's a second
they may
exchange.
not know which car they're dealing with there.
Were you going to talk about Worsham some?
Because
we told somebody earlier you were going to, and
so,
actually I need to go tell little E to go to bed.
Okay.
So I'll be back.
Spill the tea. Well, and then that's what Lisa said. I believe that there may have been something nefarious actions at the storage unit by Worsham. So that, we've had an opportunity to check that out. Mr. and Mrs. E went there and looked at cameras, and
the Worshams is hard to figure out, like because you've got these 2 really weird movements. You've got the middle of the night from the house with the flashlights. It seems really suspicious, right? I think all of us, I bet 90% of us think that there's something that happened there for real, whether they were removing evidence or cleanup or a body or Sebastian alive even. I think that's actually possible that happened. But there's something that happened there. But there's also this weird Worshams thing. And I kept finding myself referring to Chloe as one of the sources on the Worshams. So I went back and listened to the Web Sleuths interview, the famous one where Chris calls in so upset, and then Seth joins on later. I listened to that whole thing start to finish, but I was really listening to it just for Chloe, because I wanted to see what she specifically said, because during that time she was still Seth's PI, and what she said was that she had several tips that had come in about seeing Kathy Bowersox at Worshams at 5:30, but that she hadn't been able to validate them, is how she phrased it. And then later, like 2 hours later in that Web Sleuths interview, Chris was asked about Worshams and if Kathy was there. And when Chris got on, I was kind of trying to listen to a different way too. I was trying to put myself in Chris's place. Like, what's he trying to accomplish with this phone call? Like, why did he call in? What's he trying to do here? And like, what's his motivation? And it seemed like he got angry. There were times he would get angry, but it was always certain times. Like, anytime his parents came up, he got really mad. That was the first thing he yelled about, was about his parents going to Alaska. Chloe had said it was 4 days after. He claimed it was 2 and whatever, and that it was 2 weeks, not 4 weeks, whatever. He was really angry about that. Then he was really angry about what kind of property the Bowersox might own, where that Sebastian might be located. And then the other one, so the interview goes on, and largely he actually answers most questions. He's kind of rude about it in the way he is, but he's actually kind of answering the questions. He's just, maybe being a little condescending or combative about it, but he's answering the questions until 2 of them. One was the thud. He wouldn't answer that question. He was like, "You got to talk to Katie. Is Katie there?" "Yeah, but she's not talking." Okay. The other was when they asked about Kathy. Was Kathy at Worshams that morning? He refused to answer that question, wouldn't talk about it, got really upset and angry again. That was towards kind of the end of the interview. So what I think his overall goal calling in, I think he thinks he's like a decoy. Like, because he even says, you can be mad at me all you want. Yell at me. I don't care if you like me or not. He says stuff like that. I think he feels like he's taking the heat so that you don't look at the people that were actually doing it. That's my theory right now. And that's the way, if you kind of think, you could let's go back and listen to that Web Sleuths interview sometime and think, could that be what he's trying to accomplish there? Is that he's trying to be the decoy for the real
I need to listen to that again.
I think in his own mind, he's protecting Katie and his family. I think that's what he thinks he's doing. Because we always say this, but nobody's a villain in their own movie. You know, even people that are not doing good things, they usually think they're doing, that there's maybe means, ends justify the means, or they'd had no choice, or they had a tough, you know. I would be surprised if Chris views himself as a bad guy. He probably thinks he's loyal to Katie and things like that, you know. He probably thinks, you know, he's doing what he has to do to save his family and whatever. I'm sure he's got justifications for his actions. I don't know. So that's just
getting ready for the dog show.
That's just kind of where I'm at with Chris, and that makes sense to me.
Well,
especially,
Lori says she thinks there could have been 5 people involved, and
I do too. Actually, I think that's possible.
I think it's possible. Yes, at least 4, maybe 5.
In being involved in that, they might know. Like, even if they weren't directly there, they might have knowledge.
Right.
And
to me, that if you have knowledge of what happens, you're guilty. I mean, you're guilty as being an accessory to what happened. Yeah,
absolutely. And that means somebody, and if that's the case, that means there's a lot of hope that somebody's going to mess up, that somebody's going to talk. You know, so there are ways that this could get solved. I was talking about this earlier. Like, that's why I'm glad that they're doing the searches again. The number one way this thing gets solved is to find Sebastian. If he's been kidnapped, well, then obviously we'll have a suspect then. If he's not alive, then there's going to be some kind of evidence as to what happened. And with all the circumstantial evidence they're going to have gathered, they'll be able to get an indictment. So that's the number one way. We want to find him, whether he's alive or not. We'll get some answers there. Another way is somebody messing up and talking, either flipping, sometimes, informing, maybe a guilty conscience, and they call in and give a tip. Because I suspect if several members in that family, if they're really involved, I suspect a lot of them will know about it, and will know certain parts. Maybe not all, but we'll have a good idea.
I think my big thing that I can't answer right now is the communication to pull it off without using cell phones. Did they use walkie-talkies? Did they use satellite phones? Something that's not traceable. Something else was used to communicate. That's another key point, I think, in this whole case.
Yeah, and if it ends up being an accident, it's not likely they're going to have used burner phones because they wouldn't have had time. If it was premeditated, whether he was, hidden away or not, then there's a lot of things. They could have just had plans and not had to communicate hardly at all.
Right.
Everybody wants some of that.
There are some things that are,
according to Justin, I don't really understand that technology.
VoIPs, according to Justin. I saw that he has talked about that. I just looked up online. I don't understand it. I tried to read about it, so I don't understand it.
Should we start a grooming fund for the dogs? I'm just kidding. The dogs need.
I think I saw that I think I saw that he had an episode with VoIPs in his title, so I might go back and watch that and see what maybe he can explain it in that, and I'll. I just the article I read, I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, this is a good point. Was it a professional job?
I mean,
mean, it's always possible. I mean, those things that do occasionally happen.
Zoot had a good
You know,
question.
there was that guy that called in. But see, we don't know about these sources. I almost hesitate to even mention it.
Well, I mean, you could say it not a verified source.
Well, we do know that Terry's had some criminal history. Might know some people through that. Would know who to talk to.
All right, crime dogs, you guys are wearing.
So maybe, I mean, you'd have to have most of the time. It seems like whenever somebody tries to hire somebody for that, they end up being an informant, and they go to prison for that.
Sorry.
It's very risky.
I think
hire
it's
someone.
risky having a hire because that person could easily turn and then there you
blackmail you for life too. Really,
Right.
That's
And
how that goes.
I wanted to say hi to your buddy.
Tennessee nurse. Sorry, how did I miss you there? Tennessee.
I don't know.
I think the flashlight was. Well, we're gonna read Tennessee nurse.
Yeah.
Tennessee nurse
if you
says,
want him to notice, you put Tennessee in your title.
Right. I think the flashlight was getting Sebastian in Kathy's car, which was waiting. Kathy took him somewhere else to another drop off and hung out at the store waiting on the green light to go to KP.
My problem with that is I don't think that Kathy is in good enough shape to handle that job.
Right.
That's my only problem with that theory.
What kind of fit is she
me
fit
too.
enough to do that? Because Sebastian would be, 135, 40 pounds, I think? Was that what
At
he was?
least, yeah.
It's on the missing poster.
Yeah, he wasn't a big kid, but that'd be pretty heavy for, I think she's like almost 60 or so.
Lisa said the VoIP is voice over internet provider, and they have a VoIP landline.
Oh, okay.
So, 120 pounds.
Oh, so he's really small.
Yeah.
That is small.
Yeah, but still, a 60-year-old lady though.
Right.
120-pound kid.
Do we know she's 60?
In the dark through that kind of not flat terrain, holding a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be hard to imagine her doing that. Though we don't know that the person with that flashlight was alone. I guess there could have been a second person walking along with them, and one was holding a flashlight.
That's possible.
There's my favorite one right there.
Dreaming of blue skies says one of the oddest comments was the "Don't be mad." That's something someone usually says when they did something wrong or accidentally that could upset someone.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, "Hey, have you talked to Sebastian today? We can't find him. Has he called you?"
Or emergency, we can't find Sebastian. Is he with you? Yeah. Did
he say anything about walking to school today? None of that. None of the normal things that a person would do. Yeah, that's in the "don't be mad."
You just don't say that unless you are guilty of something.
No.
And Shirley doesn't agree that that it would be an outside job either. Let's see.
Yeah, and that's one of the other theories people will sometimes say with Seth that we've never addressed, but because we was that could he, because he works at a jail, could he have met somebody there and hired one of them to do something? But Seth's not a wealthy man, and a job like that would cost. When those kind of jobs are like $10,000 to $30,000, $50,000 kind of jobs. If he makes about $50,000 a year, I just don't see how he could have done that. And trying to work with somebody that's in your jail, they're more likely to flip on you
than anybody. Yeah,
get their sentence cut in half than work with you.
Hi, KJ. Good morning. Let's see.
Oh, I saw again. Does Sebastian even exist? I saw that theory thrown out again on one of the pages.
Somebody was saying he's AI. I can tell you, I know for a fact he's not AI, and we can just
I didn't see
stop that. I know for a fact he's not AI because he shares some of this. He over his school path, he has
Oh,
shared
yeah.
some of the same teachers that our kids have shared. So I know for a fact that that teacher would not go on television and lie about a child existing. Plus,
No,
I know a
we know
ton of the
multiple.
teachers. Well, I know a ton of the teachers at that school and families. So
Somebody said he was AI.
yeah, somebody said he was AI.
But I did, but this is multiple times now that I have seen people try to say, well, did this kid even exist? How did he come out of the home? And was he even real? And but no, of course, this child's real.
Well, Lisa's in better shape than I am because I couldn't handle it even at my age. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I've never met or seen Kathy. It's possible that she's working out.
right.
I guess it's.
This is a good point too.
Okay, Rocky says, but why? Seth wanted Sebastian. Why wouldn't they just let him have custody? It does not
Exactly.
make sense.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Something happened.
Well,
Something happened, right?
Share Bear. That's a good point too.
Adrenaline is a powerful drug. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Because this is a good point too.
Sharebear says the problem with this case is this: we're dealing with a family. Proudfoot and Barrow Sox think they're the smartest people in the room. When you're dealing with people like that, you need a shower. Yeah, they do. You get that sense from them. They're always having to set you straight.
And Leonora, Leonora, we're aware of that, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, but we don't have anything to report on that right now.
We just know that there was a body found, and we determined it was an hour and what did we say, 15 minutes away from here.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't be on the way. Like if you're thinking about Memphis, it wouldn't be on the way to Memphis. It would have been pretty good out of his way.
Well,
of
course, that could be a strategy.
Yeah, that could be a strategy. That would have cost him likely a good solid 2.5 hours
Right.
of drive time.
Right.
But if it was an area he felt good about, of course, there's a lot of scenarios that don't involve Chris being the one to do this. But.
I do want to. Rita was talking about her taking, an Ambien or something like that. It's funny that you say that because I had the same thought. Is it possible that she just took a very heavy dose of something, went to sleep, and woke up with no knowledge? I do think that's possible too. I'll tell you one of the red flags we haven't really discussed is one of the things Bobby said was that weird shadow.
Yeah,
that was in the window. That appeared on the camera.
And we haven't talked a lot about the 17-hour drive either.
Yeah, the 17-hour.
Yeah, we were thinking if we do a Chris episode.
We are going to do a Chris episode, I promise. My problem with doing the Chris episode has been I want to have all of my ducks in a row for information for that.
Yeah.
And basically your theme is can we clear Chris?
Kind of what we did with Seth.
Yeah.
Can we establish what can we do about his timeline? Can we clear him? Can we verify his alibis? And does his timeline make sense? Can we find enough truth in what? We know he's going to be deceptive in a lot of things, but of the things we can verify, is there a way to clear him from either being there or even having knowledge of?
Right.
And so that's kind of the exercise we were thinking about, trying to see what we could do, because we felt pretty confident about Seth after we did it. But we wanted to do it because there still are a fair amount of people out there that believe that Seth could have been there somehow. But we wanted to. We're just trying to see what we can eliminate. Process of elimination to get closer to the truth, basically.
Do you want to read Share Bear?
Share Bear says, it all boils down to the CPS case. Chris had custody, hearing upcoming. They could not risk the court getting a hold of the CPS investigation. Yeah, I think you're right about that having
but
all the answers.
But couldn't a court subpoena records regarding that, even without him being there. If it's a record, it's a record, regardless of if he's a missing child or not a missing child. And wouldn't a missing child in your household also be a red flag and raise question in court?
Yes. And yeah.
I mean, I see it both ways. I see the CPS case being a big reason or catalyst for this might possibly happening to him. But at the same time, I also see how a court could still go around all that.
And he's got a funny one.
Okay, so this is a little. Okay, I'll do this first. Annie Ruler says, Rita and Katie has gone from talking 3 hours to asleep and waking up to Chris telling her to go to bed now. Really, do they not know these are recorded interviews?
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes she's wide awake. Sometimes she's kind of falling asleep.
I know that whole thing.
I mean, what are we? They can't be mad at all of us for not believing them when they change their story.
Oh, and
that much,
This is the shadow.
Ooh, a hologram in the window.
That's joking.
Yeah.
And then Rita says they hired a ghost.
Right.
Let's see. What were you going to say, though? Sorry.
Well, Tennessee nurse had asked me what my working theory was, which is pretty much what Annie just said too. That they were kind of on the same page, I think, about being 3 people involved. Except I don't think Chris was there.
Yeah. I think Chris is a preservationist.
Yeah, going right now. My theory is I don't believe that Chris was actually there.
You don't think he was in any of the exchanges at all? You think he was completely away?
It's hard because he slips up and says "we" a lot too.
I know there's some. It's not a perfect theory because there are some contradictions to it, especially the spaghetti pancakes and the bowling alley and all that make it seem premeditated. But, well, actually, it could still be premeditated. What if this is the case? Listening to again today, Chloe was talking about how she confirmed, which I had forgotten about this, but Chloe confirmed through a source that she claimed was vetted, that Chris and Katie were having marriage problems before Sebastian went missing.
That was on the web sleuth.
She said, yes, I have confirmed that with a vetted source. Okay. So if we believe Chloe, and if that's true, could it be that Katie planned it? Could it be that Katie planned it, had the day of, the big day out,
did not tell
favorite
him,
restaurants, didn't tell Chris, does whatever she does to Sebastian. And that night she calls Chris saying this terrible thing has happened.
Accidentally, maybe. Who knows?
Or either way, accidentally or I've done this to save our marriage. What do I do? Or maybe she plays it like it's an accident. Either way, Chris was not part of the planning. And then
is that possible?
And then they talk for an hour or two.
Work out their details.
Work out the story from 9:45 to 11:30. And say, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get off the phone. I'm going to call X, whether it's Bauer Sox or whoever. I've got a friend I trust who will do anything for me. Whoever the person is. Bauer Sox makes a lot of sense. We're going to clean this up. Okay. Hang tight. They'll be there in a few hours. Turn off all the lights.
Right.
Katie's the silhouette in the window. Does this all make sense? Possibly. And then 3:00, by the time he's explained to his family what they're going to do, where they're going to take him, they get there in the night. They walk up with the flashlights. Mm-hmm. Whoever carries him out gets him to the car, and then he's gone. And then their loose story. They're like, okay, we're going to call the police at 6 and do this, and you're going to go act like you're looking for him at beach, and don't worry, I know you're scared. My mom will be right there at Warsham's, waiting to drive over to be supportive, so you're not alone. Could something like that be possible?
And that's another reason for me. That part is another reason I think Kathy was home sleeping, getting ready to be up for her
part of the show.
Her part of the show, and that leaves one other person. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, I like what Share Bear says. Has anyone vetted the mannequin?
Well, let's see.
I don't know. Where was the mannequin? We don't.
It was in the barn.
Probably right here.
Hold on. Let's see.
Oh,
I do remember.
That's a good way to put it too. I like Lisa's comment.
Oh, I mean, that's
CP
possible.
Is the Oz behind the curtain.
The puppet master. Yeah. I think that's definitely possible. Hold on,
Lucy said, "Who's the mannequin?"
Oh,
yeah, it's this mannequin that's very close to the Proudfoot home. They got a lot of attention when the searching first started because people were like, "What's with this creepy mannequin in the barn?" Because it's like right across the street from their neighborhood. But it turns out this guy just thinks it's funny to have this mannequin kind of like waving at people or whatever out this window, but creeped a lot of people out early on. And there's another mannequin like in the woods somewhere. And
they mention on the
they mentioned it on the police scanner.
Yeah, because they're like, there's a figure, there's a person in the woods, and they're like zeroing in, and then they're like, oh, sorry guys, this is just a mannequin out here. So it fooled the police for a moment. But apparently, I have later learned that these are common in some rural areas, that people will put mannequins on their property to scare off trespassers.
Well, this mannequin is specifically for Karen McIntyre because it creeps out. This is specifically for her. I've been taunting her with these pictures of this mannequin for a while.
It does have alpha kind of thing.
It looks like he's got maybe a Hawaiian shirt on this time. I think he's changed clothes. Karen loves this mannequin.
She says nope.
I just and Cherbear thinks it's hysterical. It's a little thing we do in the members chat or the members stuff.
Nope.
Karen, you ever come over? I'll drive you over to it. So you ever come to town, I'll drive you over to it so you can see it up close and personal.
She says it scares me. And you know, that's one of the things we haven't talked about. I saw it in Annie's, let's see, who was it? Oh, no, it was June. June said that CP could have been there because of the scratches, etc., on his arms. Lead him over to the car, and KP ran back to the house. I mean, the scratches is something we really haven't talked about or really taken the time to look deeply into the interviews to see pictures of his arms. Have you,
No.
Mr. E? Because I haven't.
No, I mean,
we've seen that interview with the scratches.
Yeah, I've seen the close-up pictures and everything, and it's
yes,
and I've heard him talk about it.
You know, he said it's puppies. It's a lot of scratches, though.
Karen's coming Wednesday. For real?
Coming Wednesday, where? Here?
Well, I can meet you and take you to the mannequin if you
part
really want to see it. I can take you. I actually thought that Merge's comment was good.
Okay.
Looks like I believe Terry Bowsocks, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the mannequin down, but
I know people are kind of disagreeing with me. I think because it.
What?
And it probably is. I'm just trying to see. I try to talk things out and just see if there's flaws with them. And
no, I didn't notice that. I didn't either. We'll have to look at that again. Like I said, I want to watch that interview again where you can really see the scratches.
Yeah, I think someone was. So, and this would be after he was gone for 17 hours. So if he were like out in the wilderness somewhere, like hiding stuff, you know, in bushy areas and going somewhere really remote, that could explain the scratches on the arm. But man, if he was not being followed like intensely that 17-hour period, that would be so bad.
Well, my question is, when did he say that these things happened? If he spent all of February in the camper and not at home, when did all these dog injuries and scratches supposedly?
Since he was home, he says it in an interview somewhere. Since he was home,
Yeah,
he addresses it.
But I mean, you know, who lets the puppy scratch you like that? There's a lot.
My dogs don't scratch me.
in a couple of scratches. but
Maybe
you
they
wouldn't just-
scratch
would you
people they
just-
don't like.
No, they don't scratch me.
That's what I'm saying. Your dog likes you.
Yeah, that's true.
Dogs can sense things about
Right.
people.
True.
Zoots and Boots would put the mannequins in naughty positions. That's
Right,
funny.
That's funny.
Let's see. S. Schiller said they would have a record of their cell phone chat somewhere, so it has to be premeditated. Use those walkie-talkies. Maybe. Let's see. Okay, that's a good point. Aunt E, would you?
Yeah. Zoots and Boots says if investigators didn't notice or get forensic images, that's going to demonstrate the lax non-professional aspects many people question about this investigation, not corruption, but sloppy attention. Yeah, and I do think that there's a lot of sloppy police work on this, or as it appears to be, and there may be something that we don't know going on. But I agree that it just seems like there might be a little bit of lax of either dragging feet or, I mean, why would you not do forensics in the house? And as of right now, Seth said he didn't know anything about any forensics being done, and nothing was done like that while he was there for the first few days. I would think that would be done almost immediately.
This was another thing Chloe had said about this in that web sleuth. She said that she was trying to develop a relationship with the sheriff at that point and was kind of asking about the investigation. And he had told her that they had used heat-seeking technology to search the home. But she didn't get into luminol and those kinds of things. And she said the reason she didn't was she was still trying to develop a rapport, not be too pushy with the questions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to, you guys know the show, The Lab, and his latest episode. His first hour was really, really interesting, and he made a point that. Are you shaking your head at me?
No, not at all.
Oh, so he made the point that the forensics may not really do us a lot of good, because if unless there were just like a lot of blood at the site, there may not be any real evidence to gather because they all lived there. Even if you thought like Bowers Fox or Chris came back.
There would have to be kind of a brutal scene and lots of blood. I know they can even use certain things that they can see through, even if a wall's been painted. Like say there's splatter and they paint the wall to cover it. They've actually got equipment that you can see through that. But it would, like you said, it would have to be pretty gruesome. This may have been something that had no, that left no evidence. There's no sign, no blood, nothing. It could have just, not, and so that may be why, and you may not have found anything.
Like a poisoning or something,
Right.
And maybe they even. So there's a couple of other ways. It's possible, even if you think it's possible, Sebastian left that home alive. Even if he's not alive now, he might have left there alive, and they might know that. Because we know they're holding stuff back with video or whatever.
Right.
We couldn't rule out, even if you think that someone were trying to, unalive him, they may not have done it there. They might know that he was alive when he left, and they might have done it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might have a pretty good idea of how he was unalived and know that the forensics aren't going to do a lot of good. It's not like there's a break-in or like a stranger. It's all people that would live there or visit frequently, leaving their fingerprints and everything else anyway. So what are you looking for exactly? That's the kind of argument that the lab guy, Josh, that he was making there.
Yeah, and I listened.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
it was a really good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the better ones I've heard of his.
Jump in here? I know I'll probably get raked over the coals, but I wanted to show you guys what Karen McIntyre just sent me.
Ooh.
No, these are mannequins from where she's at.
Oh, really?
But she's seeing mannequins everywhere now. Just so you know.
That's
You're just going to
funny.
see them everywhere.
Hi,
Isn't
the
that
real
funny?
me too. You said hi to me. I'm sorry I didn't get
Oh,
to say
hi,
hi.
the real me too. Thanks for coming
Oh, yeah.
over. All right, I just thought that was funny. So, I'm not sure
Okay,
what
so-
that's supposed to mean.
Could they do some forensics and us not know about it though?
I guess so.
I know that there's like if they do the real deep stuff that you probably would have an idea, but is it possible that would we necessarily, because everything we believe we know usually comes from Chris, Katie, or Seth, and we know that Chris isn't going to tell us exactly what happened. He's not going to tell you. Chris would never come out and just say, "Oh yeah, they illuminate the whole place," because then it makes him look suspicious. He wouldn't tell us that. I know that you might could get an idea by the types of vans and stuff that pull out front of the house, but I mean it's not like there's a reporter crew sitting around there 24/7. I don't know. Do we know it hasn't happened? I mean,
Seth just said that he didn't know of it happening, and it did not happen in the few days that followed that he was there, because he was there for several days in a row. I think he said 3 days before he left.
yeah.
Well, he
But
came.
you
He
could-
came
you
back
could
and
do
forth.
it for a while after. I mean,
He said he didn't stay there. He said just the other night he went back.
yeah,
to
it wouldn't have
Clarksville.
happened while he was there. But
But he said I think he just went back to sleep and then came back the next morning early for like 3 days in a row. And he said during that time he did not know of anything happening. But
right, I think like part of it would be the crime scene was contaminated because they didn't. I don't think they were preserving it like a crime scene at first.
Right, because they did say,
They believed it was a runaway. Right.
and then they did not retract the statement by Stephen Crabtree when he talked to the police. That was the one thing they did not retract, which was interesting, is that they made what was it?
They retracted the part about him being caught on camera on the 26th, and because if you remember the big apology video that Crabtree came out with, like he was, you thought he sounded kind of scared, like somebody had been like, "Hey, you need to go set this straight" or something. But then he gave the big apology video, but he apologized about the date of the 26th, Sebastian being seen on film. But the part he didn't take back, and nobody has ever retracted, was the part where police told him that after 72 hours into the investigation, they came across something that made them do a 180, and from what they had been thinking. We don't know what that was.
And that would be around the time of the trash.
So something into that third day of Sebastian being gone made them change their thoughts. We don't know what that is still. If we'll ever know. And that is also around the time the DA was in town. Because he started showing up. Wasn't he there around the third or fourth day?
I think it was. It might have even been like the 5th or 6th day. It was a few days.
So if they came across some evidence on maybe say one of the cameras, they came across something. It might have been the flashlight video for all we know, but it might. But I something like that where they said, "Oh no, okay."
Do you want to read this or have Aunt E read it?
Sure. Tennessee nurse Katie walked him over to Kathy's car. She rushed back with the flashlight. Sebastian went with Kathy, completely awake and ahead. Took him to another party. He then came back and hung at the store
until the green light.
I mean,
the only problem with that story, or that version, or that theory, I guess, is the shoes.
Yeah.
He would have had shoes on.
It always comes back to the shoes.
So
I think we should have a mug or a shirt that says that.
And just the scent. The dogs never went anywhere past the driveway.
Right.
So if he went walking through that grass barefoot, or even just walking through that grass, it would have been picked up. So I think the only way that anything's possible. The dogs might have just missed it or whatever. But I think the most likely, if you want to think he left that home alive at 3:00, is that he was sedated and carried out.
Right. And they forgot the shoes.
Like he'd been knocked out because they didn't want him to know where he was going, or easier to deal with, or whatever. If you want to kind of hold on to the hope that he might have been alive in that situation, it'd probably have to be something like that, where he was not touching the grass.
Yeah. Lisa says, no more, I'll take it down. Sorry. Karen, let's see.
And Lucy said they thought he had run away, correct? I think he was kind of reported as a runaway or walking out the front door. But I think that theory changed very quickly after a few hours.
Yeah. Let's see. And then the Real Me Too says a mannequin's house would be awesome setup for a haunted house for Halloween. So let's see.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Right, Karen. They had the whole family there to contaminate it, not intentionally, probably. Right.
No.
Right. So Kathy, even if Kathy were there, she was also there that morning. Right, when Katie gets there. So if she's got fingerprints all over the place, that's right.
And KJ Mack, that's another good point.
That's a very good point.
It's always appeared to me that Chris and Katie needed the story to be runaway. That prevents early investigative techniques. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that way, if this is like we are kind of thinking, then they were very clever and it worked.
You guys, I'm behind on the chat again. Shocker.
I'm with it.
Oh, he's making notes. Watch out. You made him think of something. Did you see that, Aunt E?
Spill the tea with Aunt E.
Yes, we need that mug and a teacup that says.
I think we could. I mean, I don't have the paperwork handy, but I mean, I can get it again.
Okay, so we got a little.
I mean, I don't want to get it right now. Do I have to get it right now?
What?
Okay.
Paperwork. We know it's happening.
We know it's happening. Yeah.
So we do have just a tiny bit of information that I think might.
So, but Aunt E can't spill the tea.
Well, this is you that can't.
Yeah, I found this. No, you tell it. You tell it. Just remember who the investigator is here.
Right.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So Mrs. E found something that's kind of interesting. Is that this guy Craddock, that the detective that's running
the deputy sheriff.
He's the one who's been on television. And he's in charge of this case. He is running for Sumner County Sheriff in 2026. So an elected position as the county sheriff, right? So what that got us to talking about was...
well, I found his paperwork where he's definitely running.
Mm-hmm.
And it got us to talking about what?
Well, now we've got a little bit of a timeline, don't we? Or not a timeline, but a deadline, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going to try to run for Sumner County Sheriff in this county, and you've got this national unsolved mystery that you've been in charge of, how's that going to go for your election?
Not good.
Probably not very well. And so, it may not be how things should be, but elections do affect things. And I'm going to guess that he's going to feel a lot of pressure to get this case solved before 2026 at least.
I mean, that's a long time for...
Because then, it's the biggest story in this county
ever
by a mile. And and there's been a ton of circumstantial evidence. The public can all see it. And, he's been out there. His face has been out there attached to the story.
I'm going to look for it, because what if it goes down now that I said that?
I don't know. Does that seem... I think it's a factor in what could happen with this case, because I don't know. I think it'll be very hard for him to win that election, assuming he has an opponent. Sometimes these guys run and there's no opponent, but I mean that'll be used. He'll either be a hero or not. And there's a lot of I don't actually buy the corruption thing around him. That's not something I believe has happened, but there are definitely a lot of people that do. And
I don't want
I
to
don't know. What do you
I
think?
don't want to dox him or anything, but I am
Oh,
going to go ahead and download this real quick.
Well, I mean, we can share that later. But I think I don't know. It's something to factor in. I think into the whole picture. Do you agree, Auntie?
I think it can factor in. I also think that just because he's in charge of the investigation doesn't mean that other people aren't dragging their feet or not doing their job that are under him. That maybe he's had people, I guess, people that he's put in charge of certain things to do certain things. They could be dragging their feet and he's not aware of it. And it's not necessarily him. But I do think that he's going to work harder to get it solved if he knows it could make a difference in whether he gets elected or not.
Yeah.
But I like Share Bear's
I mean,
comment.
I'm sure he's wanting to solve this thing anyway. Regardless. But
Well, it would make him look a lot better in the public's eyes for sure.
Yeah. So I bet he's feeling the heat and he's wanting to make, and he's got to make sure everything's right. You got to get it right or they walk free, and that's even worse. So
Whoopsie.
Whoever is
I was
involved,
trying
of
to
course.
click on something else.
But
where
I
did
don't
it
know.
go?
I mean, there are other
I forgot about this, but she's right.
The TV, I just discovered election fraud attached to elections in Sumner County too. Is that right?
I saw it like fleeting and I didn't even pay attention to it, but write that down.
I'll tell you that does not shock me at all because we've suspected this anyway.
Oh my gosh, we had a terrible time, but that's something else we don't really need to talk about.
No, that's something we're gonna do.
We were treated awfully.
Here, but that
election here one time.
Yeah, that would not surprise me.
Write that down.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Sumner County.
I remember
we were treated awfully.
Yeah,
that was very shocking.
There's some good folks here, but there's some bad too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up because that would be. I mean, this stuff goes on everywhere.
And then I'm getting text messages from people watching the stream not wanting to comment.
Okay. That's funny how that happens a lot. Actually, people don't quite want to come out here, but they want to silently.
They want to silently
message you.
It's fine.
How politically embedded are the families involved? While there may not be corruption, political influence can be a huge factor.
Yeah, we need to check that out too. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I just don't know.
And I think that could be like we're talking about this Craddock guy. I don't know that he's necessarily being bought and paid for and not doing his job, but it could be other people in the department.
I might have a couple of connections I could ask that kind of question to, just to find out. I probably have some.
Rocky says it will affect the election. Oh yes,
I think so. One way or the other, it's right.
Right.
Yeah, but that's 2026, so he'll be. It's not that far away, and hopefully this thing's solved before that anyway. But I mean, if he solves this case and gets a conviction, he'll walk right into that sheriff's office, into that position he wants.
Yes.
Well, I disagree with Rita. I think they've got something. I think they're just being really careful about how they're handling this. I think they may have. Wouldn't it be great if we wake up one morning and there's arrests made? But I mean, I think there's a factor that has to happen.
It's either it happens or it doesn't, and there's no like, it'll be shocking whatever day it happens. And nobody will see it coming because they're not going to give us a warning. We're not going to see signs, I don't think. It'll just be one day there's cuffs and one day, the day before there's nothing.
Right. And we've got 164 people watching and only how many likes do we have?
I don't know. Let's see. Well, it says we've had 1,330 views and viewer activity. I don't have a clue. I don't know.
100. Oh well, gosh, we've got 162 likes and 163 people watching, so I think that's a pretty good ratio.
Well, thank
you. Hey, you know what that means? Woo!
That's awesome.
Thank you. Well, see, what happened was I'm going to do this now because it was Merge's birthday and we missed it. And we sang happy birthday the other day, but I started all this because of Merge. So I wanted to have this available when we had birthdays and things.
Oh, funny, Olivia.
And then also that. That's for you, Merge. Yeah, notice it doesn't hit me. It hits those two. Yeah.
They weren't at the landfill long.
I think it's hilarious too, that where he said that things were not pervy to.
Oh, I know.
That's one of the best quotes, and we may need a night of just quotes.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Stupid quotes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know that quote. Who did that one?
That's from Chris.
Oh, he did?
Oh, wait, was it Chris?
I think it was Chris.
Oh, it was Chris. I'm getting confused about something else.
Things that we're not pervy to.
Yeah. Sorry.
That one escaped me. I didn't see that one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I think what the quote was is anybody remember? I've got it on my list. The actual quote.
Yeah.
From Chris. It's in here. It was from the very first interview. Where's my glasses?
Something about going down in history, or
I've got it. It's a case to be studied for sure. And that was the first. That was the very first interview they did on Duchess. Let's see. I've got a lot of notes about that. Yeah. We never did finish that. That's how we started, is we started going through that interview and then we got sidetracked.
Oh, you mean a long time ago?
I'm like our very first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should get back to that actually. Because after I did that web sleuth thing, I was like, man, there were so many things there were some good things in there.
Zoots and Boots says it's also very nice having panel guests that don't complain, that compliment each other like the three of you do.
Thank you.
I thought she meant I read it as that don't complain.
No, compliment.
Yeah, I know. I think my eyes are getting tired. But I was thinking that you need to see us when we're in person. So, and we're doing a really good job of not talking over each other, because that's what we do. It's whoever's the loudest gets their point out, basically. Let's see.
Oh, great idea, Lucy. Name that quote.
Oh my gosh, but I don't know. That would be kind of. Oh, Lisa B always says.
I knew you were going to do this one. Yeah.
My birthday was Saturday.
She's found a new toy with these.
Hey, it took me all day to figure this out. So,
good.
And I like celebrating people. It makes me happy.
Happy birthday, Lisa.
Happy birthday, Lisa. I will not be singing. However, hold on, guys. However, where is it?
What?
Turn it down a lot.
That was rough at the beginning.
Oh, sorry.
It seemed kind of loud on my end.
I apologize. I didn't know what was going on there. All right. Let me try to turn everything off.
Well, I
Charlene said hers was Monday.
All right. Happy birthday, Charlene. We're just gonna leave this up for a minute. Everybody get your birthdays out.
I hope this isn't like the restaurant and you're just lying to get free dessert.
We'll probably be ending here soon. I just wanted
Yeah.
to do kind of a quick recap for anybody that joined us a little bit late. So we basically went over the Seth YouTube channel. Hope that's all successful. We also had we talked about we're also following the Trinity Bostic, that the 17-year-old that was killed in Hendersonville, and had been discovered on the 3rd. Well, they did arrest her killer today. Is a 17-year-old juvenile, and he will be his first hearing will be Thursday. We don't know his name. We don't know his connection to her yet. That's all rumor still, but we're going to be following that story and doing updates next time we come on. Also coming up will be we think the search on July 11th. We're thinking it's happening down in that Rockland Park area. That's it's about 6 miles away from the Proudfoot's home, and so we'll be kind of following that too to see if anything comes out of that. And that's kind of what's coming up there. We are still working on a Chris episode that I want to do.
We are.
It's just been a little tricky, so we'll make sure to get it right.
And for all of our members that were not here earlier, we're going to try to put together a true crime members trivia night. Yeah. And it'll be members only. And if anybody would like to become a member so that they can participate in our true crime members night, you can do that. I will put the date out probably on our community tab when we discover the date that will work for everybody. And I'll give you guys plenty of time. And maybe we can throw out a practice question or two in our next few streams, just so people kind of can get an idea of what we're doing. Oh, and Karen wants to know about let me take happy birthday up there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Karen wants to know more about the 17-year-old, about her name is Tiffany Bostic, and she was
Trinity.
7. I'm sorry, Trinity. Why do I keep doing that? I keep doing that.
Reminds me of Tiffany.
I don't know why I keep doing that. I apologize if anybody in her family is watching. I apologize, and I apologize to all of you for getting it wrong.
Oh, those things
happen. But Trinity Bostic, and she was 17 years old, and hopefully we'll find out this week.
Well, they're going to try him as an adult. So once that happens, I don't know. Once that happens, I suppose the records will become more open to the public. But they are charging him with first-degree murder. We don't know exactly how it happened. We don't know how he knows her, if he knew her well or not. There's a lot of rumors out there, but they're not consistent rumors. So it's like they're all over the place with these people that they are claiming they know something. So we, at this point, have no idea. The only other part we know is that he is from Westmoreland, and that she was reported as a runaway initially, and then a missing person. She had left her home in Lafayette, Tennessee, on June 29th, which is where her dad lives, and then July 3rd is when she was found by someone picking up trash on the side of the highway. She was basically in a little grassy area near Costco. One of the reasons a lot of the folks that follow the Sebastian Rogers story became familiar with her is, right away, because of the proximity with the Proudfoot home. People, of course, not knowing anything about who this might be, thought it could be Sebastian. And then, once it became clear that it was someone else, even then there were people kind of wondering, well, could this be a predator or something, connected to Sebastian in some way? But that doesn't. We don't think that that's the case. But regardless, this is just a story that's caught our attention. We're gonna continue to follow it. There's just not a lot more out there right now. Her funeral is tomorrow, and the senior class is doing a GoFundMe for her funeral, which was really sweet. And all the kids at the school had all kinds of great things to say for her. And they'll be wearing purple tomorrow because that was her favorite color.
Let's see. I'm going to put that back up in the
What do you do?
I'm putting the link back up for her GoFundMe if anybody's
Yeah.
interested.
That's just
To cover their funeral expenses.
yeah. They lived all around kind of Sumner County, Portland, Lafayette, Gallatin. And it seems like it's actually a very large family, so lots of people are hurting with that one. And the good news is right now just that Hendersonville police did a great job and caught this guy
They
right
did.
away,
Mhm.
and they
Yes.
they were all over it.
Yeah, and there were some people in our last chat when we were talking more about it. They were, I don't know if they just didn't watch or, this was not Sumner County Sheriff's Department that handled this. This was the Hendersonville PD.
Right. And some of the confusion, I think, is because he's in the Sumner County Jail because the Hendersonville doesn't have like a city jail. It's just like a jail for the county.
Right.
So he's at the Sumner County Detention Center
Yeah.
as of right now.
But prayers for their family, and I can't imagine what they're going through.
Oh, no, absolutely not. But
Yep, and 3 hours and no trolls.
That's
So-
awesome.
we should
Yeah.
be back sometime around this weekend. I know we can't do another stream for a few days because we got some other stuff going on the next couple of nights. Right?
I know
think.
you.
Okay, maybe not.
Oh,
Well, I guess it's possible. But we have to-
Kimberly's birthday was the first. You know what that means.
Well, at least I'm not having to sing now.
Yeah. I'm not playing the song
That's-
again until I can figure out the sound without freaking, upsetting people. But let's see. So happy birthday to Kimberly. Thank you for sharing that with us. You guys are just going to keep doing this. You're making it up, aren't you? You guys are just making it up. So I have Oh, whoops. I forgot the ticker. Happy birthday
3
to
hours and no
you.
trolls.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
Or Olivia's done a good job of just doing them right away
Olivia,
before we
yes.
even noticed.
Before we forget, thank you so much to Olivia. Thank you so much to our members. If you haven't yet, please hit that like. And if you like our content, please hit that subscribe button. And Olivia has her own channel. If you'd like to follow Olivia's channel, she does videos and she's going to be doing live soon. So we want to support Olivia over there. And Annie, I wanted to mention one thing before I forget. Anything about applying for grants, completely forgot about it. I wrote it down again. I'm going to look at it first thing in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot all about that. Write it on your list too,
You
because
mean about the grants?
yes,
Yeah.
because I forgot all about it. Yeah, you two must be all trolled out. Yeah, no kidding. I
they've
mean,
been
the
working overtime.
last few days have been kind of crazy. Let's just be honest.
If you're new to us, we're aware of all these things. We just try to stay focused on the cases.
Right.
And unless it just really directly carries over in some way.
Oh, wow.
We try to stay out of all that.
That's great news. Oh, yeah, I was going to do that too. Oh, Olivia just put the link of her channel in the chat. So you should be able to.
Don't know if I mentioned, but great news. Soraya Harmon was found in Mexico, returned to her mom, dad, and girlfriend were arrested. Thank you, God.
Her mom, dad, and girlfriend were arrested. Thank God.
Arrested. Oh, wow.
Thank you, God. Yeah.
That's great.
Olivia's
No, I
channel
didn't know
is at Olivia B20.
And thank you, Karen. I will enjoy my vacation. It's just a staycation near my home. And I'm actually leaving tomorrow, but it was just like a little overnight deal. But thank you so much.
So we basically took over her vacation night. She didn't have to. We didn't ask her. We didn't bother her. We didn't mention it.
No, we were just going to let you do
Hey,
your thing.
I was in for the night, so I was fine.
I hope y'all don't ruin your channel like others with the stupid clapping soundboard.
Oh,
channel
yeah.
does this, and he has it so loud it scares my cat. I don't mind things here and there. Some overdo it. I
Okay,
don't know the clap.
I'll
I
try to
guess I don't know
figure
which
out
one
that
is.
birthday thing. That was just more of a joke.
So,
So we wouldn't have to sing happy birthday. No. There's a whole thing that they push buttons and they do,
oh, I see.
oh God, and
No, we don't
clapping
need
and
that.
cheering. And
We just got the balloons.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, I did the happy birthday, and it honestly kind of scared me. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you for subscribing. That's so sweet. Was that the GF? Sorry, I lost it. Where did it go?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Michelle. I'm not sure. It disappeared on me now.
Was that the GF that left the airport? Oh, do you mean the case the Real Me Two's discussing? I think that's what. That's not nice. Why would you
Yeah.
post that?
I didn't. I am deleting it
Oh, okay.
What do
when
we
it
got?
hit the show.
I guess I missed it.
Okay. Well, I think on that note, let's see.
Yeah, Mama Bear, we're going to keep doing Sebastian Rick. I've there's a lot of things still to discuss, believe it or not. I know there's a lot of angles and things that I want to do. Like I want to do the Chris one. That's the one I want to do a lot, and then I also want to do a Bower Socks episode. And of course, if any of them are listening, they'd like to come on and do an interview, we'd be happy to interview any of those 5 people: Proudfoot's, Bower Socks, or Seth. I know that's not likely, but the offer's there, and we would treat it as fairly as we could. And the kind of questions we would just ask would be timeline-oriented questions. That's really what we'd be interested in, and any misconceptions that might be out there that anybody would like to clear up, that's great too. We'd be happy to do it.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up on that note. And I found a fancy Bower Socks really hasn't been explored much. You are right, Karen.
Mm-mm. That's why I think they need a look. I think.
No, I don't think we'd do those soundboards, Deanna, because it would, if it's scaring your animals, it would scare our animals too. So we're not going to do that. Let's see. Lisa B always had a brain aneurysm last year, and she's thrilled to be here another year. And we're thrilled you're here with us tonight. So thank you. And Charlene, always first here and last out. We appreciate you. And bye, everybody. Bye, Zoot. Olivia, thank you so much. And I'm going to put up the end screen because that's something Middle E taught me about tonight. Let's see. All right. Well, thank you guys and have a great night.
See you soon.
Thank you so much. You guys were great. I appreciate you being with us.
Okay.